All right, ladies and gentlemen, and we're live. Welcome to another episode where today, dude, we're going to be talking about the death of local game stores, why
Or
they might just be absolutely cooked. No better
Sure.
victim than to discuss this tragedy than Mason with Cardinal Games. I mean, dude, he's got the gestures and everything. Mason, you want to take it away before we get started and kind of just
Yeah,
talk about it?
I appreciate you guys having me on for real.
Mhm.
So nice of you just to sit down and chat and talk about the death of the hobby with me. I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
I mean, why not?
Yeah, appreciate you guys having me on. Hello, how we doing? Did you ask
Good
me a
as
question?
always,
I didn't know
man.
if you asked me a
I,
question.
I always like to listen to other people who are actually, running real businesses in this hobby other than me. So we now have 2 card shop owners with a grand total of 3 card shops. So I think we can all get a little something out of this today.
It's disgusting. Yeah.
No, my basic question was, Mason, is you had a little bit of a spicy take that you were saying right before we went live about the death of the card shops.
PSA and GameStop is actually going to save the hobby and make it and save us from this terrible downturn that we have.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah. It's happening. The writing is on the wall. We are moving in that trajectory already. Nat Turner is going to come in there. He's going to take over. He's already on the board at GameStop. They're going to merge together. GameStop is going to become the largest LGS chain in the country, and it's going to have a direct outlet to grading not just PSA cards, but now Beckett cards as well.
Dang.
I think you can't get any more streamlined than that.
Is that good?
Monopolies on monopolies?
Monopolies are always good.
Said everyone always.
You can't build hotels if you don't own all the properties.
How else are you going to charge triple the rent?
Exactly.
Whenever I played Monopoly, I did enjoy owning more properties than fewer.
I did enjoy bankrupting people and taking all their properties. That's my favorite.
I also enjoy bankruptcy, apparently.
Oh, no.
I'm joking.
Oh, God.
No, it's
all right. Well, we want to obviously get this going, but please make sure to leave a like, comment down below. Subscribe really helps the channel. And then, as always, links down in the description below. Check out Alex and, of course, Mason's link. I just added that for you guys to check out his content.
Thank you.
But yeah, no, I mean, today we're obviously going to be honored by being able to have Mason on the channel once again. He's going to kind of give his perspective, and we'll just, hopefully if we have some time, do some Q&As. But where do you guys kind of want to begin here?
Well, here, Mason,
yes.
How about we talk about what is the biggest revenue source in the local game stores?
Ooh,
biggest revenue source?
Yeah, because I think most people think that, I mean, maybe this year it's probably different, but everyone has this concept that it's all about the distro. You got to have the sealed products. The only way you make money. Without big distro accounts, you're kind of screwed. But tell us the real story.
Yeah, I don't know. I started the channel probably how long ago? I've been on YouTube probably for 4 or 5 years now. And I've tried to put out the good word, spread the gospel that, sealed product ain't the answer. Sealed product is not going to save your business. Sealed product is an ends to a means. I want you to open sealed product. I want you to hoard it. I need you to open it so I can get those juicy singles. Singles are the way that I make my money. Nobody cares about sealed product. Singles. It's all about the singles. That's what makes the most money. Now, of course, yeah, like you said, Alex, this year, seals is doing pretty good, okay, for me. But yeah, most of the time in normal climates, I need those singles. I need to churn through those singles because that's the only way that we actually get to eat and have employees and have any source of actual revenue.
I mean, I remember the bulking up series when you were on the run to 100,000 cards listed on TCG Player, and you're above that now, right?
No, I'm at 220K. So
that is wild, man.
It's a lot of cards. It takes a lot of work though, and a lot of people to manage all that stuff. So the only way they get paid is by making sure that we have a good steady stream of singles coming in. So
what percentage, if you had to guess, what percentage do you think are Pokemon, or is it mostly Magic or like Yu-Gi-Oh? Or
probably this year Pokemon's been pretty good.
Has it?
Yeah, I mean, we're probably if we're not 50-50, we're probably 60-40.
Wow.
Pokemon Magic, yeah.
Okay.
Magic's been okay too. Like Final Fantasy did very, very well. Let's not
Final Fantasy.
Let's not poo-poo on that too much. But
I think it's just short-term memory because everyone's looking at Spider-Man and Avatar, and they're just like, "Oh, it's now it's all over because we don't have 3 good sets in a row."
Well, that's the thing. Hasbro, being the giant corporation that it is, if they have a way that's like they see money in like LGSs and the people that are buying their products making money, they're going to find a way to capture that money themselves. They don't care about us making money. We're supposed to make our margins and be happy. If they're losing out on any money, that's them losing money. So that needs to stop, and they need to figure out a way to capture that. So that's what's happening with Magic right now. We're just in that little cycle of just like, oh, it was really good for us. Let's see how we can screw this up. That's how we got here. So
what's speaking on that point, what's your stance on like at least your like idea on the Pokemon situation? Like, do you think the rumors are true and they are starting to kind of give preferential treatment to like the big box stores and less is going through distro? Or I mean, is that how they're trying to capture more of it?
There is definitely a shift, and we probably saw this probably. Oh, what was the set before Black and White?
Destin, right?
Yeah. Destin Rivals seems like to me, please tell me if I'm wrong, seems like there is way less booster boxes printed of that set than sets before that. Seems like Journey Together had a bunch, pretty good size, and all those other sets before that, pretty good amount of booster boxes. After the initial wave came through, we got a second wave of extra little stuff. But it seems like for Destin Rivals, something changed where they moved and said, you know what, booster boxes are going to be like a one-time initial off the rip, and then we're going to never do booster boxes ever again. And then we're going to put all that stuff and put them into all these other ETBs and big boxes and the premium collections and all this other all these like little premium boxes and all those little things that never existed in mass like they did until up to that point. It's only now that they're kind of getting more and more of those big boxes of like with a bunch of packs in them. Think of like the Costco and the Sam's Club, like they have 12, 16 packs or something ridiculous in them. We've never seen those before, like they started doing that. So something's shifted. So they definitely changed, and they see that. It's not about getting the most packs for your buck anymore. It is how much plastic and cardboard can I encapsulate these packs in and fill up the shelves and make more products out of to sell these at a premium. And that's really what it's coming down to now, guys, is that all these big boxes and all these things are going to be way more of that stuff produced, and all the stuff they see that they can just ship it off to Sam's Club and Costco. Who cares? They get their money immediately. They don't have to worry about MJ Holding and all that, selling it through them. Just ship it off, buy the pallet to Costco and Sam's Clubs, and just make your margins, move on. And that's what we're seeing. Nobody cares about booster boxes. Nobody cares anymore. That's why they're always going to be super limited and kind of like the one and done kind of thing, because they are not interested in making booster boxes anymore. That's clear to me. I don't know how you guys feel, but that's what I'm seeing.
Do you think they're not interested in making booster boxes anymore, or do you think they're just more interested in having product get put into big box retailers, and historically big box retailers have never had booster boxes in shops?
I think booster boxes are at a price point that does not make sense to a casual consumer. So true. I think that, especially now, but even at MSRP, right? It's still 165, isn't it? I wouldn't know because I've never sold a box for 165 in years at this point. Right. But no, but that is a price point that is too much for a casual buyer, which, as we all know, most of the people out there buying Pokemon are. They'd much rather put it in a smaller product, put it in a smaller thing. You can make more money. That's how it works. If you buy in bulk, you're supposed to get a better deal, right? Well, if you're only buying 5, 6, 8, 12 packs at a time, you're going to pay more of a premium because of all the production and logistics and stuff that had to come along with that. And maybe we take a little off the top as well. That's just what they do now. So I would not be surprised, like if we're doing print runs now where, say you have it in, say you make 5 million packs. Okay, 1 million of those packs are going into booster boxes. We're going to keep 2 million of these to go on ETBs and all the other little things that we make at the beginning of the set. And then we have the last 4 and 5 million we're going to put and save for all these other little booster boxes and all these other little things. If we want to make a box down the road with Destin Rivals in it, okay, we're going to keep that. And Pokemon's always done this, but I think it's way more quantities now than it was in the past.
I agree. Like 95% of the boxes back in XY Sun and Moon are 4-pack boxes. Like sometimes you'd have like that big Charizard box or like some other boxes that would have more packs, but the majority were just 4-pack boxes. So they definitely upped the quantity there. I think a lot of it has to do with the timeline of when booster bundles were created. They created them sort of like at the end of Sword and Shield. They kind of, put them through a test, had a bunch of different kind of sizes. And then like now the booster bundles are kind of like the main, I guess I would say, compulsory item.
Sure.
It just seems like that's one of the big.
I love bundles. Bundles are great. 6 packs at a time is a perfect amount. They're between like $30 and $45, depending on what set it is. It's a great little price point right there. It's a nice little pocket. But if they really cared about just getting as many packs out there as possible, we should be inundated with bundles, because it's like a little cardboard box with 6 packs in it, right? But it's not. We can get all these other little big box stuff and all these other like premium uber sparkly box collection crap. It's not about making the packs available. Let me just say that. It's about making more and more products for you to buy, maybe over even a longer period, with those sets and products that you want in them.
Did you get your
Go ahead.
Oh, did you get your numbers for Ascended from some of your distros?
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, because obviously, if they're kind of stepping away from booster boxes as much, kind of like what you're saying with Destined, wouldn't we not have seen such a huge slap in the face in terms of allocation numbers for Ascended when it comes to ETBs and other miscellaneous products? Because I feel like if you take Destin and you say, okay, yes, it was less than Journey, but Mega was 10%. I don't know if it was the same for you, but for me, Mega was 10% more than Destined. And then Phantasmal was only about a case less for me, if we're just talking booster boxes. But then looking at Ascended, it's like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? Why are we getting absolutely destroyed?
Yeah. Because there are no booster boxes for Ascended Heroes either. So like, where are all these packs? What are we doing? Where's all this stuff at? Your guess is as good as mine. I have no idea what is happening with that set. You would think with specialty sets too, because it goes over, just like 151, and if you want to call Black and White a specialty set, okay. There's a long window of releases of products, like 2 or 3 months worth of stuff drawn out over time. You would think that would give you more time to print more and fill them up as you go along, kind of producing all this stuff. But where's all the stuff? Where's it at? It doesn't make any sense. And we're not getting waves of like ETBs, are we?
At least with my main distro, it's wave 1 and wave 2 of ETBs.
Okay, so we are getting 2 waves at least. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's promising.
So not only are ETBs going to get delayed. Yeah, so ETBs are getting delayed by a month, and then we're not even getting all of them all at once. We're also having split waves on them.
Well, I mean, even for like, even like 151 and stuff, we had, different little like, they weren't officially waves, but they were definitely Pokemon sending them out at different times, Yeah. Yeah, it's just like, all right, we're printing at max capacity. Phantasmal Flames felt rushed, right? Where there wasn't enough stuff in there. But now we have this set, which has all kinds of insanity, like actually like crazy cards. If we're getting everything that we're saying that they were going to get. Why are you not just pumping this into the ground? Like, where are all these cards? Where are all these packs at?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like the other side of the argument, I guess people might say is like, oh, well, they're just all going to big box. They're just not going to LGSs, and like. Maybe, but like it just does feel like there's just less.
I mean, do they make and sell a ton of like tech sticker collections at like Walmart and Target? I don't know. Like, I have no idea. But that is, I think, one of the first items is those guys, and I didn't get a whole lot.
If you think back to like when you opened your second store, did that help with your allocations at all?
No,
not at all.
Not effective.
So you'd have to go in like a different region, be in a different facility to really see a difference.
Yeah, or if I opened a second account maybe, and then I was able to kind of build allocation for that second store as well. But you have to start at 0, right?
So they don't take that. They don't take how many locations you have into account.
Sometimes they do for certain games. Like if I run OP, organized play, between the two stores, if I get like a Pokemon bundle that drops when I have to order like a bunch of BS to get my stuff, I'll be allocated 2 of those because I have 2 stores. This is just 1 per customer.
Nice.
But you know, I get to spend $3,000 worth of sleeves to get $500 worth of Pokemon.
Yeah. So that's had to be pretty difficult, I'm sure, like when you did double up in stores, especially with allocation.
I mean, I had to make a decision of like, okay, do I want to have these separate and kind of like build up allocation the second time, or you know, just kind of bank on me doing better numbers through my one account? Will I be able to just get more in general? That's the thing, is really is less like, okay, am I, you know, which way is more sustainable? I felt like just the single account was more sustainable.
I'm curious, who's your main distro? Because a lot of the distros I've talked to, they tell me that if I open a second store, I have to make a second account.
Southern Hobby is my main, guys. If you're going to send stuff to them, they probably want you to open up a new account. But all my stuff goes to the one store, and then I take it to the second store.
I see what you're saying.
So in hindsight, I guess maybe.
So they don't even know then you might have a second store because everything is being shipped to the same one store.
Cut the feed.
Other than the fact that like we had been shipping to there before, and it was just logistically a pain in the butt to work with basically 2 sets of numbers to figure out, okay, this goes here, this goes there. But no, like for Wizard of the Coast, both my stores are WPN, you know, they're stores. So I get 2 allocations from Wizards, for one's for Middletown, one's for New Cut, and then I get both of those things from my one account on Southern. So it's not an issue.
Yeah, it's always tough because it's one of those things where like most distros are obviously looking at your overall spend when it comes to how much you're allocating you. So you kind of obviously always are wondering like, okay, how does that change things based off of multi-locations, multi-region, etc.? Because you're always trying to maximize, right?
I mean, always, until the market goes bad. And then you're like, okay, I need to build my spend for this one account. So if you spread it too thin, that's the other thing too. Like in the waves of booms and busts, right? Like we got to do what's best long term. So I think having a single account is better in the long term.
I mean, speaking of long term, I mean, what's your kind of outlook, I guess, on the market? I mean, right now, obviously, allocations
in general, what's my thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, realistically, like 6 months to a year, like, do you think we're going to see a normalization in the market? Do you think this craziness continues? Like, obviously, allocations are looking rough for Ascended more than I would argue. This is probably the roughest looking allocations we've seen in a while, on top of delays and waves. So I don't know, what's your kind of take? Do you think things start to normalize? Do you think we kind of continue to see this level of, you know, confusion, I guess? I don't know, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. It's kind of like, how far do we go until buyers just get exhausted and like tired of just like paying these crazy prices, seeing that it's not ever going to get better, and balance that with, okay, this is just how it is now. You know, this is the new normal of like, this is how set releases are.
Yeah.
There's 2 different camps of buyers, I think, in that kind of pool. And, you know, while one goes up and one might go down, you know, how many people, Eli, tell me, I don't know, but a lot of people say, hey, I love Pokemon, I love collecting it, just not for me right now, apparently, because I don't want to pay these prices. I'll come back when it's cool, or, you know, when it's cheaper. The same amount of people that just say that and walk in, you know, I have people that are, oh, I just got into it. How much is it? Okay, here you go. You know, it's kind of like a balance of just like, you know, the new buyers versus people that have been here a while and know and can rely on it eventually getting better. Just, we don't know when.
What's your take on the One Piece situation?
What situation? Of how crazy it is? Just
well,
in general?
Apparently Pokemon's dying and everyone's going to One Piece.
It's people chasing the money like they always do. I mean, it's just like the top 20% of people that just float around to whatever they can feel like they make money off of. And a lot of that is building and driving prices.
Yeah.
Those people don't care about, they're not economic collectors. They're just like, I'm gonna spend money because it's cool. So I think a lot of it is good because One Piece is just, I think it is solid, rock solid anyways. But it's just a logical next place to go.
Yeah.
That prices were I thought they were already crazy, but you can only feed off each other, selling off to each other back and forth so many times in Pokemon before you get to like a crazy amount. And then we see a retraction above like 20%, like we always do, when people say, oh wow, it's coming down, and then I can feel good about buying because it's not going up and up and up anymore. There's always that when people are moving around to stuff wherever they can kind of flip and make money.
So
One Piece is just the next thing.
So you obviously think that, just going back to kind of a little bit of your answer for Pokemon, you think more or less it's going to come down to buyer fatigue, but also you don't really know if that's a thing necessarily because there's so many new buyers coming in and so many leaving that they're being replaced.
Right.
I guess, do you think then there's like an end in sight in your mind, or do you think that it will be the new normal, I guess?
You're trying to pin me down and give me an answer. Okay.
I'm trying to get a less political answer out of you.
I'm trying to trap him, Eli. Let him
I know.
talk.
We're really putting the screws down. Okay.
Well, we ask every guest this question. It's not,
I think next year's probably going to be okay. We have so much just to look forward to. It's going to be a crazy set. I mean,
yeah.
Megas are always cool. I mean, what more can they do? Bring tag teams back? I mean, I don't know what can make it go higher.
Oh God,
we can always figure that out and say like, okay, what's next, right? But
serialized cards.
Seriously,
serialized cards are not. They're pretty divisive as far as like Pokemon. To me, to me, I think they would be. But once you kind of cross that barrier, you can't go back. I mean, Magic's already seen that.
Yeah.
If you start to have serialized cards, and a set doesn't have serialized cards, well, who cares? Why would I buy this? Who cares?
That's so accurate.
It's like I own stores. I know it's crazy. Yeah, serialized is like, it's got to be like the absolute like, oh, the game, I got to pull a ripcord. We're dying. Looking at you, Yu-Gi-Oh. But it's like I said, once you go, you can't go back. Unfortunately, you're gonna, if you don't have serialized stuff in every set after that, people will just be like, okay, what are we doing? Because if you really want like the chase collectors, like the hit, the guy that's like chasing the big high, the big stuff, if it doesn't have serialized stuff, they kind of like, well, what am I doing? That's why I think SIRs are just so great, because you can have cards that are worth, look at Distant Rivals. Look at how many great cards are in this set, and of course some of them have retrace, but like we don't need serialized cards. We have absolutely crazy cards in these sets that are, and so long as that stays and maintains, we're gonna be okay.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned it a little bit, but yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh with now finally going to the full arts, possibly rumors of serialized. Like, do you think that's enough to kind of keep it competing, or do you think One Piece is just gonna steamroll it and become like the third biggest TCG?
I mean, look, Yu-Gi-Oh has lots of other problems. They've had problems. I don't think people are taking this new format. I think that the new format is not far enough. They need to actually like support it and like make products to get people to want to play it. The fact that we don't have what's the online client with Yu-Gi-Oh and their Duel Links, whatever it is, stuff like that people actually enjoy and have fun with, and it's actually like a healthy way of playing the game. Why would you not give people what they want and where your customers are interacting with your stuff? Doesn't make any sense. I talked about this in a video I just did. When Magic had Commander players and Commander popped off and it started getting popular, they didn't go like, well, we're just going to make our stuff just like we've always been making it. No, they leaned into it. It's like, hey, there's opportunity here. We can make money. We can give our customers what they want. You can say that they maybe went too far now and we're too far in the weeds, but from a company that is actually like watching where the money goes, it's logical to let the customers dictate what's next.
So do you think Pokemon's just going to keep kind of leaning into what's working? Because it definitely feels like right now, at least, like it's been a while since we've truly had a set that's and you've made a video about this and we've talked about this many times. I mean, Phantasmal, Obviously, it's consistently following the same trend of the Charizard, but it at least had better cards than what we'd seen historically. Like, do you think Pokemon's going to put out a dud set, or when we get a new generation, we'll see some, less intrigue because it's new characters that no one cares about? Or do you think realistically Pokemon is just going to keep kind of churning what people want?
I mean, from what I've seen, there's no reason to believe that Pokemon is not going to be. I mean, what could be worse than Paradox Pokemon? What could be worse than like a set revolving around those things? The future and ancient Pokemon. Like, if that didn't kill the hype, there's not a whole lot Pokemon can do to stop that from being the case. So I think it's fine. Pokemon is going to continue to find ways for people to enjoy their IP and sell cards and sell games and sell plush and all those things. You don't think that new Pikachu from the Poketopia game is going to be like an insane plushie that they're just going to make $1 billion off of by making a new Pikachu in the first time in 10 years, 20 years, 25 years? Like, there's so much more they can do. Like, it's like there's so many more things that have to collapse in the way of Pokemon, like not doing their thing, for me to be concerned about the IP in any shape or form.
Do you think that for like booster boxes and elite trainer boxes, do you think we'll ever see below MSRP ever again?
Of course. Yes, absolutely. It may not be today, may not be tomorrow, but it's coming.
Well, let's switch gears. I have a question for both of you. What do you say in 2026, having sort of an employee Pokemon investing 401k plan? Okay. If they buy a box for their investment, you match a box for their investment.
Wow.
That could be one of the greatest employee benefits in the TCG hobby. Just give it some thought. Okay. Buy a box, we match a box. It's a 401k match plan for Pokemon.
Where do you store that product?
Oh no, you give it to them. Like, they get it. They manage their own portfolio.
I was about to say, but what if they just like rip it right then and there? Then they're not investing in it.
They just rip it. They would.
Yeah, they just rip it.
Well, that's just like taking money out of your 401k right away and paying a 10% penalty plus taxes. It's the same thing. Okay?
Oh my God. The penalty and taxes is the ripping. That's funny.
You hiring, Alex?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, right.
Hey man, I'm just trying to expand the hobby, okay?
Have you gotten your have you had your second wave yet from Southern Ship for the Charizard UPCs?
Yeah, swimming in them.
Oh,
right
so
now.
They have shipped for you?
Yeah.
Really? When did they ship?
Friday.
Oh my gosh, I still haven't gotten mine yet. Oh. So that's crazy. I wonder.
Don't worry, they're on the way.
What are we talking about? Are we talking about the Phantasmal booster boxes, or
we're talking about the Phantasmal Charizards? Oh, wait a second. Wait, is that the ticket I see? Oh yeah, that's it. Yep. No, I just got the ticket for it today.
So you guys, you do have them in already, Mason?
Yeah, they probably got delivered today. Yeah.
And then Eli doesn't have his.
I don't have mine, but I'm looking at it. They just added it to a ticket this morning, so.
We just had a group chat last night in Discord about this, about, just what the market price is going to be, because they are starting to stabilize a little bit in the 140s, but I got to believe they're going lower. I don't know how low. I mean, MSRP seems in sight, but who knows? I mean, there just may be enough buying. I'm looking at the TCG player, quantity they're selling, and the quantity is up like exponentially, and how many are selling per whatever few days. So it's the question of how long do they stay at that low? I don't know.
I mean, it's going to be the same scenario where it's just like, okay, how low do they get to go before I just start opening them for the packs and all the stuff inside of them?
100%.
And then all the stores that have those, that disappears. So this is how it's like, I'm going to find the best way to sell these products and make money. It's not about, I'm not going to sit on them. I'm not going to lose money. I'm going to do whatever, or lose as much money as possible, right? So if the answer is to open them and sell the packs at $7 instead of selling the box at $75, I'm going to do that. That's a no-brainer, right?
Yeah.
And I get all the other goodies and accessories and stuff too. So there is a floor, technically, but if everything else goes to crap, then the floor disappears, right? But at least for what happens and goes through LGSs, the amount of that, I'd be happy to bust a bunch of them and get those promos and put them on my cases and sell them to people, and to get those sick playmats. Those playmats are sick. You know, they can get $20 a piece for those playmats. Absolutely, I can. So like, it's a no-brainer. I can just break them down and make, I'll make money. I'm not worried about it.
It is kind of crazy, like, because like they have there's 18 booster packs in there. I mean,
Wow.
18 times $5, that's already $90. I mean,
that is more than what I paid for the boxes.
yeah, I mean, 18 times $6 packs 108. You got, like you said, deployment. Yeah, I mean, there really is a floor. I mean, unless the entire markets, across the whole every pack all drops significantly, there's a floor there at least $5 or $6 a pack, if not higher than that. Especially even if you say the promo and all that stuff's going to fall in price. I mean, it's unlikely it can get much lower than 110-ish.
And then, the balancing force of like, okay, I'm going to crack all these. If it hits below too far, I'm going to get all those packs and I'll be good.
Yeah.
If all the LGSs are across the country, the same thing that I do, we're going to have all those packs. It's going to tank the price of those packs and the promos and all the other things. So it goes down. But it removes less of those Mega Charizard UPCs off the market. So then the pool for those gets less and less to eventually where they get rise higher. See, this is how economies work, guys. This is how the supply and demand works. Is that this is how this goes. So if you are holding Mega Charizard UPCs or you want to hold them, you should want it to have to be so low that I have to bust them. Because then you get to buy them for cheaper. And then I deplete the amount that are on the market, and then they'll go up faster.
Well, presumably single packs will also start to drop too if people continuously do what you're doing.
Sure.
So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see, because if you're just getting your wave now and I'm about to get mine next week, it'll be interesting to see, because I know Southern's one of the larger distros in the country. So I don't know how much they alone will have an impact, because I've already gotten all of my allotment. But to put into perspective, Southern is equal to the entirety of the allotment that I got from all 4 of my other main distros. So I don't know how you want to put that into perspective, but that's kind of how I'm looking at it, from like, okay, I think this last distro might still play an effect on prices, but hard to say.
Yeah, I think the amount that I got is like pretty much equal to what the first wave was.
I got I think 50 or 100 more this second wave than I did the first wave.
Yeah, but at your scale, it's like what, 1%, 2%?
Hey, it's about 10%.
Okay,
I'll take it. I mean, here's how I look at it. Anytime you get a product where the second wave is bigger than the first, you're like, whoa, because that rarely happens.
Well, and it's you want the most as you can get at release.
Of course.
That's why that's why the wave system works, y'all, is because when they have the same amount of product between 1 and 2, I want it all in this block right here, the first one, because I'm able to sell it as fast as possible, right? If I get that product a month and a half later, there's a way longer tail for that product for me to sell through it, because there's not as much demand for it.
Yeah.
So that is what sustains and lowers the price over time, is that kind of like second little wave, and then I have to sell stuff to less people that want it. And that's why the wave system is as good as it is, and why it actually works to lower prices, because the demand isn't there right off the rip.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, because it's one of those things too where a lot of times, things move so fast in this hobby that by the time you get the second wave, the set itself is already old news, because people have moved on to the next set that's coming out.
I mean, 2 weeks, people have already moved on and looking at the next set. So, our Japanese will come out with a new thing, and I have to get the Japanese set in, or there's a new box set that comes out, and I have to worry about that.
It's exhausting.
We're always moving through to new stuff.
It truly is exhausting. I mean, you heard about Destin Rivals for a year straight, and then it gets here, and 2 weeks later, people are ready for black and white. It's pretty amazing when you think about how fast this hobby moves. But yeah, I mean, Mason's Dry, it's just like you're in the English set a couple weeks, and you're waiting for the Japanese set, and maybe there's a Chinese set, and maybe something else, and back to another English set, and it's amazing. There's enough attention span to even, I don't know, take in all this collecting all at once. It's amazing. All the products still get open and still get collected the way they do.
I mean, that's the chain of products. That's how, I don't want to say it's designed to be that way, but it's definitely working in their favor.
Yeah, because kind of keeps you like infinitely engaged. Where if they did slow down, like people always say they need to print less sets. Like if they did that, people may just get burnt out just as fast, but then just like have nothing to do for months on end. And they may just, find their way away from the hobby, where at least this way it keeps you constantly engaged every few weeks.
Why does Wizards of the Coast make a new product every 6 months now, or every 6 weeks now? Why does Yu-Gi-Oh make a new set every month? Why do they keep just pumping out the same stuff? Because it's there's got to be numbers that support that. People that are constantly engaged, and your top buyers that are constantly engaged, even if it's like half your buyer base, hitting those same 50 buyers, or say 50% of buyers, month after month after month, is way better for your bottom line than it is to spread it out 2-3 months.
Yeah.
And get 100% of the buyer base. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Totally makes sense.
What would you say? Like, you guys can both answer this. What would you guys say? Like the biggest advantages of owning an LGS, like having a physical shop?
Store credit is the greatest thing that's ever been invented.
So, like on trade-ins, giving like extra in-store credit.
Yes. You giving me something, I give you a little bit extra to like lock you into using that money at my store. Why would I ever not want to do that? Why would I ever, if somebody sells me something and that money leaves the building, that's money that I'm not making, right? That's money that is leaving as opposed to it coming to my store. So if people are leaving with money, that's not a good thing. I want them to use that money here. I want them to trade stuff into me and also buy things and use that money to buy things. That's what does the best.
Yeah.
If product was cheaper, and back when they used to be, I literally had people that would open a box, bring all their hits, and be like, "Here, I don't want these. Trade in for these, please. You want store credit? Yep. I'm gonna get another box. Sick. All right. I'm gonna give you a little bit extra then, because you're buying another box with it." They go get a box, open it again. All right, I don't want these. I'm gonna get another box. All right. That's the ideal scenario. That is the best case scenario. And that's why I always say sealed product is an ends to a means. I don't care about selling that booster box. I care about getting those singles in. And if they want the booster box in return, that's all the better.
That sounds eerily close to the GameStop Power Pack method.
Look, I'm just saying they didn't invent that. Okay, that's not a new concept in the hobby.
Eli, would you agree, man? Is that pretty much one of the big benefits, or you got something else?
I think that in my mind, the biggest benefit is convenience. Because if you just look at how the hobby is shifting, it's very much the same way society is shifting, which is instant gratification. I mean, a large part and parcel why I think that streaming and streamers have popped off a ton and breakers have popped off a ton is because a lot of people, they want to get that dopamine hit immediately. And so for them to be able to open up their phone and be able to spend money right then and there to have a pack that they just purchased ripped immediately without having to drive or wait a week for shipping is like a huge advantage for a lot of people, even if you're not getting the cards immediately. And so I think with game stores, the biggest advantage you're getting is, let's say I'm someone that plays Commander a lot, right? And I want to build a deck that I want to play same day. If I go on TCG Player, I'm going to get 20 different envelopes. I'm going to have to deal with hopefully all my cards all coming in at the same time or just coming in general. And it's a huge pain in the butt having to wait for all of that. Versus if there's a store that has the cards that I want, they're going to charge me a slight premium, but that premium is worth it to me because I'm not going to have to, deal with the 20 envelopes. I'm instead going to go into that shop. They're going to have all my cards. I'm going to build that deck and I'm going to be able to play. I mean, I literally did that. There's, that's one of the things we're trying to do better with our business, but there's a store that I shop with here locally. And I've been playing a ton of Commander lately. I've been too busy, but I was like, I want to play some Commander again, but I don't want to play with one of my old decks. So I went into a store. I bought like the majority of the cards I needed, made the deck, and then played it that same day. And that's something I'm willing to pay a premium on because instant gratification. I want to play it right now. I don't want to have to wait a week, right? Like that is the biggest thing I feel like that you have an advantage on storefronts by far. Because like, yeah, you can talk about like, sealed product and you do get that same instant gratification, but you're not going into a Costco and buying like raw cards. You're not going into a Costco and buying like whether that be for your collection or for your deck. That's something that you can only get at local game stores. And that's like something that is obviously huge. And it works hand in hand with what obviously Mason was saying with store credit, because a lot of that does come from singles.
I'm going to respond to Kyle Vu's message.
Yeah, can I respond to Kyle, actually?
Mason giving that scalper energy. This is why I never.
That's crazy, troll.
So,
I think that's rage. There's no way.
I'll explain. I'm going to explain it. So, Kyle, tell me what's better. Would it be better to get, let's say, 100 boxes, and that's all you're going to get, and you have to sell them at whatever market price is? By the way, you still have overhead. You still have employees that you're still trying to keep employed, give them jobs. They enjoy what they do. They don't want to go, all that. You again, you have the game store available for play, people to come hang out at, and you're getting $100, 100 boxes, right? And you're making what? You're selling, you get them for say 90, you sell them for 220 or whatever, right? Is that better, or is it better to get infinite amounts, say 1,000 boxes and sell them all at MSRP? 1,000 boxes at MSRP is going to make a game store infinitely more money. So why would Mason want to have the situation the way it is? Like, everyone wants it to be MSRP that owns a game store, has distribution. They want to get larger distribution numbers. They want more people to be able to afford the product. They want more people to be able to enjoy the game. But when you literally just can't get enough product because Pokemon isn't giving game stores any product, you don't have an option. You have the same bills, you have the same employees, you have overhead, and that's the market price. Like, you can't get it cheaper. Like Eli just said, you can pick it up in store and actually open it that day instead of waiting for it to come in the mail. Maybe it comes damaged, maybe it comes late, gets lost, whatever. I don't even have a dog in this fight. I don't own a game store. I don't really have distribution for all intents and purposes. I just want to like get the knowledge out there that it's totally not what you're thinking.
Yeah. That's how distribution chains work. I don't know if like people understand, like, all along the way, if somebody touches something, no matter what it is, they have to make money, and there's a profit being made there. It's not scalping. That's literally just business. It's scalping is buying something that is meant to be an end consumer and being a middleman for it. People all like forget about that. Like, if I was taking stuff that I was selling or supposed to be being sold to an end consumer, if I was going to Walmart and buying something at that price because I could sell it more in my store, I am a scalper. That product is not for me. That product is meant for an end consumer. If I get something from distro, I have to make my cut regardless. So would it make more sense for me to sell it at market and get the most money possible, or not, when I can't get as much product as I want? I'm getting 63 box ETBs of Ascended Heroes. If I sold it at MSRP, I did the math. I think it'd be something like $1,800. That is the cost of a single employee for 2 weeks. Now tell me, with that being my entirety of the allocation that I'm getting from a single set for Pokemon on a single SKU, how am I supposed to run a business that way? How can I maintain the ecosystem that I have, that I'm building, by selling a product and making the margins that I'm supposed to be making, but with a quarter of the product I normally get? It doesn't make business sense. That is not a business strategy. That is not a business economic way of doing things. It doesn't work. So,
and then there's like other.
That's where we're at, guys. I mean, that's where we've been for years. And like I said, from the beginning I've started my channel, I've tried to explain people how this works. And there's still people that seem to have a hard time understanding the difference between me being a business and like being pro game stores, and like, you should be like supportive and actually like appreciate game stores. I'm not saying that you have to, and that you have to interact with us in any way. You don't have to. That's totally up to you. But to directly cheer for a game store's downfall is the most like pea-brained like way to like, and like, if you want to ruin your hobby, that's the way to do it. Because if the cards didn't have secondary market value and didn't have game stores supplying the market with those things, and like have a marketplace to sell those things, like with TCG Player, this all falls apart. And you'd have your cards. You'd have all your cards you want. They'd be worth nothing. That's the truth.
Well, hey, on a happier note, Mason, what's the biggest thing that gets you excited these days to still still running game stores. Keeps you happy, keeps you enjoying it.
I mean, look, I still think, and obviously it's clear, Pokemon is making the best products and the best cards, the best singles that they've ever made, ever. And I still get super hyped. I still, when the sets are spoiling from Japan, and I get all, they're opening stuff on those shady Chinese websites, that they're streaming it all, and they're just cracking things. They don't even look at the cards. They're just like ripping through them real fast. They don't care. I love that. I love those nights. I stay up all night to watch this stuff, for the stuff to get ripped. I is still a huge fan of Pokemon. I'm still a huge fan of cards. I love the environment that where I can watch something and be like on the cutting edge of like, it's releasing right now, and I'm get to see it in like real time. Like, thank goodness for Poke Beach and the effort that they do, and all those people that like collaborate all that stuff and put all that stuff together, because that's super hype for me. That's so fun. And then I get to run pre-releases. I also, it's the first time my customers get to interact with a set, and I get to see their reaction. I get to be, we get to have fun and sit down and play a casual game. I see a lot of people that I don't normally see, because they're just like, they want to see the new stuff and then enjoy it, casually. And then, they don't play competitive Pokemon, so they're not going to be there all the time. But for new releases, they'll come out and have fun and have a good time. And that's super fun, because it's just like a big old, like, every 6 weeks to 8 weeks, it's like a big family reunion of people that I love and get to hang out with, and I appreciate having in my store. And we just get to have fun and sit around and look at new cards together. That's fun.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's the best part.
One thing I wanted to say, and we can kind of finish the topic there. I feel like there's one thing that definitely people miss, kind of, going off of more of what Mason said. When it comes to like scalpers, a store can be a scalper, but just because you're a store doesn't mean you're a scalper. I feel like people forget that. Like, at the end of the day, like, people, for some weird reason, I don't know why, I don't think it's specific to Pokemon. People get like so like angry when they hear that stores have to make profit to run a business. And it's this weird thing that people do, and they assume, oh, because that business is making money, therefore they're scalping. And it's like, that doesn't make sense. Like, if you're scalping, like Mason was saying, you're going to a big box retailer and you're buying a product that was supposed to be for the end consumer, rather than you getting access to product from distribution. And then on top of that too, like, once again, people also forget that just because you have distribution doesn't mean that the person is buying that product for this insanely cheap price. Like, a lot of distros, when they're offering new products and new restocks, a lot of times they're going to charge you somewhat close to MSRP. And it sounds crazy, or not MSRP, sorry, close to market. And it sounds crazy because you're like, well, why would you buy that? There's no money on it. Well, there's a natural incentive that we kind of have to, because of how allocation allotment works with you needing to build spend. And so you're literally saying to yourself, hey, man, I might break even on this, if not lose money, after you consider the expenses of, like Mason said, have an employee, the overhead costs of running a business, etc. But I need to build spend constantly, because if I don't, then I'm going to fall behind, and then I'm going to lose money on my money makers. Like, realistically, owning a shop is, I'm going to buy garbage so that I can then show my distributors that I can push weight and then get good stuff. And that's just it. And it sucks. It's a very big grindy game that you kind of have to play, but that's just kind of the game that you play. And so you don't have to do that, obviously, as a scalper, because you have zero risk, you have zero overhead. All you do is you go into a big box retailer, you buy the product, you make your margin, and that's it. Just hope you don't get into a fight with someone while you're there. I guess that's your risk, right? So, or you get exposed on social media. So I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things that a lot of people just don't really seem to understand. And then lastly, and then we can wrap up and move on. Like, once again, going back to it with LGS is like, you're buying singles from there. You need a place to play. You need singles if you're someone that's part of the competitive game. I know everyone thinks like, oh, well, I can buy my packs elsewhere. That's totally fine. But like, you're not going to go buy your singles from Walmart. You're not going to go buy your singles from Target. If you want to build a deck, you're going to buy it typically from a card shop, because if you want to go play Russian roulette on TCG Player, that's fine. But the amount of times I've had a card shipped to me that was not in the condition that it was stated it was in, versus I went into a shop and I was able to see what the actual card condition was before I bought it, and I knew I wasn't getting scammed, So it's a little bit different, man. You don't have to play the guessing game as much.
Eli, listen, dude. Everybody wants a job, right? Everybody wants products and services, right? But nobody wants anyone to make any money.
I know it's
Crazy.
terrible.
But they want
Crazy.
to be paid for the job they do by a business that hired them that produces products and services that they're not allowed to make money on. Let's just clear it up.
Yeah, right. Seriously. There is another thing though, to now wrap that up, move topics. There was something I did want to ask you, Mason.
Yes.
A while ago, you were talking about, obviously, once you kind of bring serialized, it's hard to take it away. Do you think that's the case specifically for Universes Beyond or for all sets? And the reason why I ask that is because if you look at Edge of Eternity, it didn't have a serialized, but it performed extremely well. Now, obviously, if you look at the Universes Beyond sets like Spider-Man and Avatar, obviously those didn't perform great, but it's like, okay, well, is that because it didn't have, serialized? But like I said, going back to it, Edge of Eternity didn't, or was it because the sets were just performed poorly? Or arguably, here's another thing. Is it possibly because they didn't produce commander decks for those sets like they did with Edge of Eternity, which is obviously one of their larger games that people tend to play more of? I'm just curious your perspective on that.
I think when Universes Beyond tries to do stuff without serialized stuff, I think we've seen that it's been very hit or miss whether or not it catches and whether or not people are interested in. Even like you said with Edge of Eternities, there's still like those what are they called, fracture foiled cards? Extremely difficult to hit. Extremely limited amount. I don't know how many there are. There's not a lot. I can tell you that much. Is it 500? Who knows? Like, it's probably more than that. I would think. I would hope, but I don't know. I have no idea. Bloomborough did not have serialized cards. They had the little gold, like embossed, like little cards that came in the collector box. Those stayed very healthy and did very well. People really liked those. Yeah, I mean, do you need it all the time? No, but I would argue that standard can take it without serialized stuff. The Universes Beyond, it gives it an additional little catch-all because Universes Beyond is made. The whole purpose of Universes Beyond is to bring people from the outside into Magic, right? That's the whole idea. Like, they're hoping that somebody sees that Ninja Turtle stuff and they're like, man, all right, Magic, I see you. Let's see what they got going on and buy the set, right?
Would it be fair to say they're also trying to bring in more, like, I guess, collectors or more than just players?
Yeah. I think that in general, if there is a chase that they can offer that is a limited amount, there's only that amount. I don't have to explain to you what a fraction foil is and how rare it is. This one's 1 out of 100. It's rare. There's only 100 of them. Oh, okay. Like it's just an easier thing to comprehend when it's somebody that's not familiar with the IP or how Magic works or how they print normally. So it just is an easier way to say, hey, this is what you're looking for. This is like the rare stuff. So when Spider-Man didn't have collectible stuff, why? What a weird thing to do. The super fancy Soulstone, highest rarity thing, it's still a super expensive card, like super dumb expensive.
Yeah,
as expensive or more expensive than any serialized card in like any other earlier sets outside of the crazy stuff. There might be some serialized stuff that's a couple $1,000s, but most of the time they're not anything super crazy. If they slapped a 1 out of 250 or 500, would that set have performed better? Probably. Even if it's the same amount, even if they only did 500 of them, still would it have done better? Probably. So it just kind of makes you wonder, I guess the answer is not to when to serialize. It's just why not serialize? Especially for Universes Beyond, because it just makes it that much more easy to understand just how truly rare something is.
Yeah.
Now, the complication with serialized stuff is that you can't print more. You got to do like they did with Lord of the Rings and make another special other set that's different and just different enough to where you can reprint it again and it doesn't feel like you're taken back with the serialized stuff, stuff like that. But yeah, especially for stuff that say, hey, we're gonna hit this one time, and this is all there is. Why not put serialized stuff in it? You may as well. It just doesn't make any sense to not. maybe they wanted to leave the window to like make more Spider-Man maybe down the road. I don't know. Like I don't know. But to me, Universes Beyond should just have serialized stuff in it. Just because, why not? Why not do that?
I mean, to be fair, when was the last time they did a reprint of collector boosters in a non-serialized set? Because I feel like we just don't really see that happen anymore. It feels like most of the reprints that they're pushing for product is Commander decks and play boosters.
I feel like I don't know if it was a reprint. Maybe they just got more on the market. I feel like I did get more Bloomborough down the road. Outlaws definitely feel like I got another thing of collector boosters when I didn't really even want it, but I got them. Or they just printed more. I don't know. I don't know when they like would have stopped the presses to make a new thing for collector boosters. Typically, they are just one and dones, right? So, but yeah, I guess they like leaving the door open potentially if they have to go back and reprint something. Especially with in a standard set, when you have it in 3 years being standard legal now, like you can go back and reprint something 3 years down the road and it still be a valid thing to reprint, apparently.
Yeah.
Don't know why you would, but the option's there, I guess. And I guess I like that.
I mean, I know this is more on brand with the channel, but I feel like you're a good person to ask this. Do you see, like, I know you're not, like I said, you're not really big investment channel in the same way, but do you see there being like value to investing in collector boxes in the same way as Pokemon booster boxes?
Mason's a heavy investor. What are you talking about?
I bought probably 20,000 collector boosters in this last little wave from somebody locally that was sitting on them and kind of
for what?
For just different collectors, all kinds of different stuff.
20,000 collector boosters?
$20,000. No.
Oh, I was like, oh
Eli,
my!
I don't do numbers like you, brother. Like whatever your numbers do,
dude,
take the last two zeros off, and that's like where I'm at.
I was gonna say that is a lot different.
Yeah.
No. Holy. No.
I was like, oh my god, dude! I didn't know you were built like that.
Where would I put all these things?
Mason's got it like that, man.
Dude, Mason's got it, dude.
I think when we did see that little run up for collector boosters, I think we did see how quickly it could potentially get to be that bad, right? I think there is some growth potential and some idea of that. Yes, these are typically one and done products that, and if they have serialized stuff, they are definitely one and dones. Through the matter of attrition, just like in Pokemon, the older something is, the less of it that's going to be out there.
Yeah.
So I think it just makes sense that you take the blue chip item of whatever the set is, and there is eventually going to be less and less of it. So you may as well hold whatever that is. And
People
obviously,
just
collector boosters are the things to hold.
They're just not asking the right questions. Like everyone is so worried about how much am I going to make in the shortest amount of time, and then like if something else goes up before what they own, like, oh, I should have been that item, I need to jump to that. It's like they need to be asking the question is, what are my chances to lose and how much could I possibly lose? Like when you look at like something like that Spider-Man box right now, I mean, how far above it that is from distro price at this point? Like how much can you actually lose? What are the chances you actually lose? What's the upside potential? It's like, even if that box takes 4 or 5 years to, make some significant gains, I think the chances of losing on some of these items now is so low that it makes a lot more sense than some other things right now. They're, pumping. Like if you were to take a One Piece box right now, that's at, $400, sure. And then you take a Magic the Gathering box that dropped from 800 down to 400. I feel like that makes a lot more sense than buying into something that's in the middle of a massive run and, mass hysteria, hype, all that.
Sure.
Where even though the price points could be the exact same.
I agree. Obviously, we saw what the market was at least thinking collector Spider-Man boxes should have been, right? Somebody was buying them at that price. Had to have, right? Because or else they wouldn't have been up there for so long. But it really is like, I don't want to say no-brainer. And like, Spider-Man's got to be at the floor. Maybe not. You never know, right? But in 2 years, is Spider-Man collectors not going to be more than what they are now? Like, of course they are. Like, what?
Yeah.
What? Of course. Like, yeah, if you're looking for stuff to like put money into, like collector boosters are easy little no-brainers. They're small. They don't take up a lot of space. The price per pack is 10x higher than what a normal pack is. So you're basically like, for the same amount of like keeping 10 play boosters, you have a collector box.
Yeah.
Worth of like, if you're looking at like, hey, if worst case scenario, I have to pack this out, like, collector boosters are just that much easier. To me, they're fun little things to put money into, and they do the same thing. There are way better collector boosters that have done better than others in the same time frame, but a lot of them, all of them, go up.
I think that's the only scary consideration, because definitely from a price per square foot perspective, it is so much better. I mean, especially once you start talking about if you can get your hands on master cases. But like realistically, if you look at, arguably outside of Final Fantasy, one of the best performing sets in the past several years, it's got to be Lord of the Rings, right? And although the price of the box was different at the time, you were paying more for Spider-Man boxes. The high got up to about $1,200. And it's kind of plateaued at that point. We don't know, a lot of the market in both Pokemon and Magic is plateaued. So who knows if it's going to have a run up again. But I guess you look at something like that and you say to yourself, okay, if I just do the math, I mean, like, what were you paying for your Lord of the Rings boxes, like collectors? Do you remember that off the top of your head?
How were they? Like 368, I think is what. I don't know why that sticks in my head, but it feels right.
Feels right. So it's like,
which is a lot for collectors. I mean, it's way higher than what
right
now.
If you just do the math on that, right? We'll just make it an even 300. Right now, if you're selling it at 1,200, which it it's not at anymore, but it will be probably pretty soon. You 4x your money, which is great. Don't get me wrong. Like we're a greedy hobby where we think 4x is not a crazy amount, but like if you look,
ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. It is literally ridiculous. You 4x your money in several years and you're like, I didn't make a ton, but that's like insane. So for me, you look at a product like that and you say Spider-Man, which is, one of the biggest busts we've seen in a while in Universes Beyond. I mean, I say in a while, we've obviously seen massive bigger busts.
Did not sell well for you?
Spider-Man?
Yeah.
No, sold horribly in the shop. We had the worst numbers we've had in probably over a year for our Pokemon pre-release, our Magic pre-release with Spider-Man also.
Wow.
No one showed up for this. I mean, like 20 people showed up for the pre-release, whereas with like Edge of Eternity, we had like 40 people show up. So we had double the amount of people show up for Edge than we did Spider-Man. I mean, I don't even want to get started about obviously what showed up for Final Fantasy. I mean, we had to literally go buy tables and put it in the lobby just so we could fit enough people, which, hopefully we didn't have a safety check that day. Definitely we're crammed in there. But yeah, like, I don't know. It's just a little scary because you just don't know Spider-Man. Like, how is that going to perform, especially since the entry point is so much higher when you look at some of the best performing Universes Beyond boxes and you say, okay, they didn't really perform, as crazy as some of the best performing Pokemon boxes. If you look at the entry points from some of the things like Evolving Skies, Lost Origin, even Silver Tempest, which has performed great, but it's arguably one of the weaker ones of the alternate art sets from the Sword and Shield era, right? I mean, heck, some of the Scarlet and Violet boxes, like Paldea Evolved, have been performing, just as good, and they are, a year younger as sets. So I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if some of that is just because of you being you and dealing with what you do. Yeah. There probably is a little bit of bias in that. I'm sure there's tons of stores that do way more than us in Magic. That 100%. They did just fine, and they thought it was great. I'm far more interested in people like that. It's all really cute to be anecdotal and be like, oh, I'm not selling Yu-Gi-Oh! I must be, Yu-Gi-Oh! Must be doing terribly. No, let's talk to a guy that actually sells this set en masse and see how they feel about it.
I mean,
I think
maybe
I think that's fair though, until you start talking about the fact that the box has crashed almost 50%.
Oh yeah. I mean, look, I mean, that is looking at the market. I'm just saying anecdotally.
MH3, for example, MH3 was crushing it, but we didn't sell a ton of MH3 because we were a new shop. So obviously, we were not a good example of that. But obviously, if you look at Spider-Man's obviously been constantly going. It's just been a down arrow. So for me, it has less to do with what I'm looking at and how it's performing in store, and it has more to do with how I'm looking at the charts and how it's performing and how indicative that will be of the long term in its overall strength. Kind of like when you look at booster box sets like, battle styles, it obviously will do good long term, but it's going to be outpaced by other forms of investments. I just want what's going to earn me the most percentage wise, right? But sorry, Alex, I cut you off.
I was just gonna say, I mean, from a rip and ship like stream perspective, I mean, we probably went through, I don't know, 20, 25 plus boxes of Final Fantasy on stream, and Spider-Man, I had trouble getting through a box.
Whew.
And Avatar, we like sold like a box. Like, I mean, I overbought those and I sold them sealed. Like, so I mean, I know the opening, at least on streams, it was not taken well with either of those sets. Final Fantasy, I mean, there was like double the price per pack, and people were still ripping it at will. So it definitely was a different feeling, I would say, especially from the opening crowd.
Yeah, don't look at my store numbers and how well we did or how many people came in. Just look at the charts. I mean, Final Fantasy, people were saying like $600 a collector box. That's insane. And then before you knew it was $1,000 a week after release, versus people said the same thing about Spider-Man, and then before you know it, it's now below MSRP, getting close to wholesale. So it definitely felt like you had two different reactions from just the overall general market online, as well as in, a lot of LGSs.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, do you think Spider-Man will do well, like, as far as it goes, or do you think that it's a little bit sketchier just because of it being a Universes Beyond set?
I mean, like I said, it can't get any worse.
Yeah, that's fair.
what do we how much lower can it go? Of course, we always say that, but
how are you feeling about Lorwyn? How's the reaction for that been in the shop or just online?
I think public sentiment about this stuff is always really like important too. Players have to like it. Players have to really feel like it's good to buy. And I think people saw Spider-Man, they listened to all these YouTube channels and said, "Oh, I hate this. This set's garbage. There's nothing good playable in there. It's boring." The way that they've constructed it, where it's all color pie based, where they have constricting different kind of things. All these things played into the factor of like whether or not again, casual consumer and players are the casual consumer on Magic, not with Pokemon, that are collectors, right? I think that sentiment goes a lot further in Magic when people are down on a set. So I think that is always something to look at and factor as well. Final Fantasy was going to do well regardless. Final Fantasy could have been half the set that it was, and it would have done just fine. But when people say, "Hey, this is Spider-Man," and you think of like what a Spider-Man set would be, what we got wasn't it. And I think that is pretty telling.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Do you think right now, like when you look at the two different hobbies as a whole, right? Like Pokemon, Magic, and we'll even add like Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff.
Sure.
How much weight do you put in? I mean, this is kind of going a little bit more on the conspiratorial side. How much weight do you put into the fact that we're having print issues, not just across the board for just Pokemon, but that a lot of these manufacturers are using the same companies, and it's starting to cause issues across the board for a lot of the TCG games?
Yeah, it's funny when you hear, okay, Pokemon's making all these crazy set, like I said, every month there's something new Pokemon dropping, like either it's mini tins or Pokeballs or whatever it is. Shoot, maybe even 2 weeks, every 2 weeks at this point, who knows, right? And then they get delayed. Pushback, but they're still like slating more stuff behind them. Okay, if this has been pushed back, like what's happening here to the overall like print environment, if all this stuff is getting pushed back, it just creates like a domino effect of like, okay, you're doing it to yourself, y'all. Like move, separate stuff out a little better so you don't have to worry about it. I don't think it's just print issues. I think it's logistic issues as well. Things just don't move as fast as they do like they used to. Frankly, I don't think, trucking companies are still struggling. I mean, even since like, COVID, they've been struggling to get like logistically stuff moved. Way more expensive than it used to be. All these factors, all these things are driving that stuff up. It may make sense for Pokemon to delay something a month because they can ship 2 things together, and have it be, and they'll save how many $100,000 by shipping it all at the same time, like that stuff is probably stuff that they factor in as well, but yeah, like Magic uses Cardammundi, and they have a couple of places they print. They have a place in Japan, they have a place in Belgium, somewhere over there. But they also make everything else, and all these other TCGs and all these other little card games and all these other like people trying to get slots and all this stuff. Yeah, it pushes stuff back. And it's just inevitably just like production delays or something happens, or a machine breaks down, stuff happens. So that stuff's gonna start to impact even like their big buyers and all their big companies that they print for, right? So yeah, it's just people that are trying to make all these card games, all these crazy card games that keep coming out. You guys know there's a new My Little Pony game coming out? You see that?
I did not see that.
I actually have a video coming out about it soon. But it was funny when I first started my business. My Little Pony was just like then dying. The first one they did, Interplay used to make it, and it was just like a joke. It's like, oh man, My Little Pony, no wonder this flopped, right? But now we're getting My Little Pony again. It's just like, oh okay, this the coming of the end of the era as well. When this My Little Pony comes out and dies,
that could be the top signal.
That's how you know. That's how you know when it's like we're at the end of the boom. But yeah, there's only so many printers. There's only so many different companies that can make the stuff. And it's just like, they're all vying for a place and space to do all this stuff. It definitely impacts it. It has to impact even the big boys.
When it comes to your business, what would you say has been like your greatest reason for your success? Like, what do you kind of attribute the most to like what has kind of gotten you to where you are today?
I'm sorry, I got a text message. Say it one more time.
I said when it comes to the overall success of your business, what do you think has been the greatest, like what do you think has attributed the most to the success of your business? What have you done the best? What do you think has helped you out the most? Like what is it that you feel like makes your kind of game store stand out compared to others?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really important for people to have a passion about something, like a legitimate passion, not just like, hey, I like money and I want to do this.
A passion for money.
You can't be passionate about money. I mean, just saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's important too, I guess, as business. But like, I would not have started an LGS if I was like, I got to make as much money as possible. Like, I would not have done that. No, you got to really be passionate about stuff, and it's got to come through. It's got to be organic and natural and genuine. That you like the things that you're trying to sell. Yeah, and I think that helps out a lot. I don't get to play as much as I used to, but I do play Pokemon on Sundays at one of my stores, and people really love that because they get to sit down with me and talk to me and kind of like interact with me like a fan, as a fellow player, and not a some guy just like trying to gouge them for money or sell them things. The human factor of like, hey, as a small business, I'm a dude, like they're a dude, and I'm just trying to provide for my family and do and have fun. And I just so lucky to be in something that I really care about and I'm passionate about. I enjoy. That is super important. I think people can tell right away if that's not organic and real.
Yeah,
people automatically know. Like, I don't know anything about Yu-Gi-Oh. By proxy, by de facto, because I don't know anything about Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't have the biggest Yu-Gi-Oh community in the world. Like, it's just I don't pass the sniff test when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh. And that's okay. you know, I still try to support and try to listen and communicate with them and get stuff like that. I communicate with them more so because I don't know about the game. So I'm like, okay, if I ask them like, hey, what do I got? What do you guys got coming up? What are you excited about? How much do I need to order for this, that, or the other? You know, that stuff too is good. Being engaging and talking to these communities that you do try to build and making them feel valued and that they're being listened to and that you care is super important.
I feel like that's, and not that I've thought about like having local LGS or anything, but I feel like that will be hold me back the most is like I have so little, if any, passion for all these other TCGs outside of Pokemon. Like vintage Yu-Gi-Oh for sure. Like it was part of my childhood. I mean, all the way up through like the first, I don't know, 10 sets maybe I could really be knowledgeable about, but you know, after that, I just don't have any like kind of connection. I have no desire for it. The One Piece thing, like. And so, yeah, I mean, I think that is a hard part, like trying to stay engaged and like interested in all these different TCGs, especially as they keep coming out one after another. I mean, now you got to learn about My Little Pony, man. Like I'm going to have questions. I am going to have questions for you about My Little Pony cards.
Yeah. It goes the other direction too, right? Like that people, again, like if you're trying to fake it, you can't fake. I cannot sit down and have a conversation with somebody about Marvel stuff. I don't know anything about Marvel. I don't carry comic books. I don't know anything about it. If I did carry comic books, why would somebody want to come to my store when they could just go to a store that they can have a conversation with somebody that's super passionate? Take price out of the factor. You know, if somebody's walking in my store, they're walking in my store for a reason. They want that interaction. They want to talk to somebody. They want to. There's a reason why they're there. If that kind of interaction and talking to people and stuff like that, if I can't do that, I'm just not going to be able to sell the product as well. And people will know, hey, I can't talk to this guy about this. Why would I go back there?
So you just
super important in game stores to have people that are knowledgeable.
Yeah,
that can have the conversation with people, like people on the video game side of things. All my guys should know a little bit about video games. You know, all my employees should. But the guys that are like that's their focus, if they didn't know anything about video games, like that's such a bummer. That sucks so bad.
Yeah.
So that's the strategy, is hiring somebody that's knowledgeable about the things that
you have to know things. Like I hire people that I don't know anything about. I have to, because that's where my shortcomings are. I want to shore up the shortcomings that I have as a person. You know, I can learn, but why learn when I could just hire somebody and they can just, you know, be the champion for that community or be the person that talks to people about stuff. I like that. I like that being a thing. So, like I have an employee that's really good with board games, knows everything about board games. Board games are daunting. They're extremely expensive. They're time consuming to play. I can't play every board game that's out there, right? But my buddy, my guy that I hired, he's great. You can talk to him all day long about board games. He's gonna know and be able to talk to you about it. And then I get to slowly walk away.
Just fade into the night.
And it's still a better experience for those people because they got to have that interaction. I think that's super important for game stores.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. It's like there's two ways people buy things nowadays. Either they know exactly what they want, they know everything about it, they hop online and try to find the best price, or they're not really sure what they want. They don't like know everything. They're looking for some sort of expertise to be educated on something. The only way to do that is to go really I mean, you could sit there and read online, but a lot of people don't want to do that or watch a bunch of videos. A lot of people just want to walk in a store and have someone knowledgeable explain things to them. And a lot of times that's like a good experience for them and, you know, keeps them coming back. So I get that.
Yeah. They just want to nerd out. They just want to nerd out with somebody. And that's okay.
Dude, it's so funny when you were like talking about earlier about how like a lot of people like, what's so fun? Are you reading?
I'm just reading the comments, man.
I know, dude.
They are wild today.
I know, dude. I saw your comment. I thought it was so funny, bro. This is great. Oh my God.
Who knew this would be this? I feel like this was like the most docile podcast we were going to have. And it has brought like the most amount of intensity in the comments. What is going on?
I know.
We're just talking to Mason. He's the guy that owns 2 card shops.
Just hanging out.
What are we doing?
He's a divisive figure, apparently.
What are we doing?
Insane. I mean, if you want to end it all, you know what to do, Alex. It's all on you. If you want to do that, brother, you got the power.
Oh man,
Mason is the homie.
I got
but sorry, what I was gonna say was, yeah, you know, it's funny. You were talking about like one of the things a lot of community likes to see is that the owners bought into it and they aren't just there for the money. Like they actually enjoy the game.
Yeah.
It's so funny because like when it comes to Magic, I mean, I talk about it on this channel, like I've gotten super into Magic and I've taken a little bit of hiatus, but it was one of those weird things where I felt like I had to kind of get over it because coming from the like service industry when I used to work at like a restaurant, it was always the weirdest thing to like get off a shift and then just go eat where you work because you're like, I got an employee discount. Like, I don't know if anyone's ever had that feeling, but it always felt weird. Like, why am I at my job eating right now, relaxing? I should be working. And so like when I go to the game store, it's one of those things where I'm like, man, I'm playing Magic. I've already worked my full 8 hours, but I'm just not working more. Like I should always be working while you're there. And so it's one of those things where it took me a bit to kind of get over that because it definitely feels as an owner, like people for some reason, or maybe it's just something I put on myself, but it's like, you're not allowed to like chill for a second or like partake. But at the end of the day, it's like, I started the shop because, I'm a huge fan of Pokemon. I love talking to people about Pokemon. And then from there, it grew into other TCGs that I started to fall in love with.
Do you feel like you sitting down and playing the game with people, that doesn't improve the store experience for people?
Definitely.
I don't know. It's hard. It's like I said, it might be something that I'm doing it myself. It's hard not to get in my head sometimes about me playing and people being like, why is it that there are people working right now and Eli's not? Like,
Dude,
it's
I
hard
think
for
it's the opposite. I think
yeah, exactly. I think it's the exact opposite too.
dude, people are like, oh yeah, I play with the shop owner.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta remember that, dude. Like to everyone else, you're the shop owner, dude. Like that's people like that's really cool to be able to talk directly to the owner about the hobby, sit down and play a game with the owner. I mean, I think that's pretty cool for a lot of people.
Yeah, like with me, I'm terrible at Pokemon. I'm a terrible player. And I don't play enough to like be good. So I just do it for fun, right? I just do it just to hang out and have a good time and talk to the people that come and hang out. I like that. That's a fun part of me. I get fulfillment out of that. But like I said, I do think there is on the other side, people seeing that and seeing you like, man, hey, he does like this stuff. He's not just trying to make a quick buck. He's not trying to just squeeze us for every dollar that we have. Hanging out and having a good time. I have like a playmat, like my hot dog playmat. This one has signatures of like all the creators and stuff I've ever dealt with. Like Alex is on there. Eli's not on here because Eli doesn't leave his house. But if he did, he'd be on the playmat.
What?
I do remember that. Yeah.
Where was this playmat?
You gotta go to Collecticon, bro.
Oh my god, I didn't know that.
But like in store, I have this playmat, and all the people that beat me get to sign my playmat. So, and my playmat is just as full as this one is because I lose a lot.
So that's got a lot of signatures.
I have all kinds of signatures on it. So it's fun, and people see that and they're like, "Man," they see that and they think it's cool, and it's like gives them a goal to like beat me in a Pokemon again. It's not very hard, but it just gives something cool and have people be like, "Man, I want to play Mason because I get to sign his playmat if I beat him."
Dude, Hamburg Garen's got the serious question. And I want to add to it. Are you still playing the video game, Mason? My question is, were you more successful in the video game store or the real store? What's better, dude?
No, yeah, exactly. Like it is so much easier to play Card Shop Simulator and make money than it is actually in real life. Yeah.
That game did look pretty fun. I never tried it, but it did look like pretty fun though.
No, it's goofy. Like it's a tangent related thing of like my life, but it's also like not realistic. You cannot open packs and make money. Like that's just what you do. You do that in the game.
People were like, man, how Eli, how similar is this to like real life owning a shop? And I'm like, dude, this is so far off from actually owning a shop.
Oh, I have a serious question. What, like, I mean, Rudy talks about it, and like, I've heard other card shop owners talk about it. How was like mass box opening like a thing back in the day? Like, how did that used to work for like profit?
Well, back when Hasbro didn't own Wizards of the Coast and they were their own independent thing, they would produce things and be happy with margins and making things at a stable and reliable rate. Now that they're owned by a multi-billion-dollar company, that's just one big conglomerate that is failing, other than their arm. They have to make as much money as possible and squeeze us for all the dollars that there is. So that's what happened. If you want to like know like the truth of like why.
So there was just be enough to make it in the singles over a good large enough quantity, and it made sense.
And there's other things too, like you can talk about like print equity and stuff like that. About just if you print another card for the 100th time, it's not going to be as valuable as you're just dividing things up. There's lots of reasons why opening just doesn't work anymore. But
so you don't like opening utilize any of the TCG play like pre-sales or anything?
I mean, I might do a little bit. Like with Final Fantasy, we opened a little bit. With Avatar, we opened some stuff, not a lot. Maybe like a case, maybe just to like kind of have the more playable stuff or the cheaper stuff. But I haven't actually ripped since Commander Masters. We opened probably like $15,000 worth of stuff, and I maybe made like $4,000 back on that. We got absolutely destroyed. So since then, I'm good.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Do you?
It's always interesting to hear how things like used to be.
Yeah.
Do you know Card Kingdom? Obviously, I feel like that's a rhetorical question.
Mr. Card Kingdom.
Yeah,
no, I don't know. I don't know who it is, but I know.
Oh well, Card Kingdom is like a huge online store.
Yeah,
they're like, yeah, you get them anyway. So, they have brick and mortars that they're like introducing. Their Mox boarding houses is what they're called.
Yeah,
and they have one in the Phoenix area in Chandler. And I was talking to one of the guys about it, and I was asking him like, do you guys open on new sets? And he's like, oh yeah, we open hundreds of boxes every new set. And I'm like, how do you guys do you guys make money on that? I'm like, yeah, we're definitely profitable. I'm like, how are you profitable? He's like, dude, I just work here. I just work here kind of energy. Yeah. But it was one of those things where I'm like, how do they manage to do that for new set releases and really make, because you got to imagine you're getting just obliterated by some of these sets.
Well, Card Kingdom, they have their own marketplace, and they're obviously very successful as well. So people go to them to buy things that it may be more expensive than on a TCG player, but they have store credit and stuff built up with Card Kingdom that they want to play and spend their money on. So there's lots of ways that they probably are able to open and it still be okay and make money.
Yeah,
there's a lot to that.
I would be interesting to do the math and see because we use some websites obviously for profitability calculations on breaking down of product, but always, at least for me historically, it's always factored in the TCG player fees. I wonder if you were to do the math for some of these products and say like, okay, how much money am I making if I didn't have those fees, and how that would, that changes so much, right?
I'm sure it probably puts you right there where you're like, okay, yeah, this was worth it.
Yeah. So, are you moving a lot of singles in your shop? Like, how much of your shop would you say is comprised of singles versus sealed? Like, if you had to guess, what's the percentage breakup?
Singles wise, we probably do. It's definitely majority. If you're talking about actual revenue made, a TCG player is just so good for us. I mean, we just, we have just built our business to run with TCG player. So it's just, we just do so good with it. And just kind of, we've specced into that tree, to use a gamer term. We're just really hyper focused on growing that part of it and that part of the business and making it work. So, it takes some work. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of time. Once you get there, and you get a good flow of things, it's pretty good.
When so you obviously mentioned TCG player. Do you do a lot of sales outside of TCG player for singles, or is that kind of where you move most of your singles?
Other than in store, maybe if we do get serialized stuff in, it does a little bit better on eBay. More expensive older stuff does better on eBay too, just because people like to see the photos of them. But no, a lot of it does. It's just your $3 to $10 cards that are going through TCG player, some on direct, some in person. But a lot of it is just the grind of selling singles, man.
Really? So do you not have like your own store website that people can access, or do they realistically have to go to your TCG or like in store to see the?
No, yeah, we do when you are a level 4 seller on TCG Player, they give you like a website to use, and people don't ever use it because I don't know, maybe they just don't see the demand or would see a drive to the people that actually use it. But it's great. Like if you sell on your own pro website, you get like way reduced fees. I think it's
Yeah.
like something like 5% or something silly. And then we use those same systems in store, which is basically just like a browser version of like a kiosk. People go in there and they order from the kiosk, and then it'll be an in-store order when they submit it. And then we can track it in the back end, pull the cards real quick, and make it really easy. So it's a nice, efficient way to do that. And then all that stuff has no fees, which is, I think, is great. For there to not be any fees, when TG Player built this thing for you, it's pretty nice.
Is there a way for you with the pro website to enter in your purchase price of the card when adding it to your inventory, or how do you track profitability?
No. That is the age-old question, Eli, of how do you track whether or not you've made or lost money? The short answer is you don't.
I mean, I think that's just seems so daunting. I know we were talking with Rob about that too. I don't even know why you would even want to try to do that. Like, especially with the bulk buys of collections and just like bulk in general. Like, dude, trying to keep track of every single individual card profit loss, that seems daunting, man.
Dude, every card store owner I've talked to, I'm like, so how do you know like what you bought and sold the card for? And they're like, I don't. I swear I'm still waiting for the answer.
There's literally no way to do it. Unless you like want to like barcode and serialize every single card that you sell. There's no way to do it.
I feel like that would take more time and effort than it's even worth.
Correct. Even if you did, remember you have multiple copies of cards. So if you sell that one card, how do you know it's the card that you paid $12 for is not the one that you paid $14 for? Like, it's just like there's no good way to do it. So you're talking about cash basis accounting. That's why cash basis accounting is in your favor, because
let's talk about
it. Because you're just worried about the ins and the outs for cash based accounting.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think honestly, I don't know how. I'm sure everyone just basically guessed before. I mean, if they aren't using cash basis accounting, I don't know how you do it on an accrual level, like keeping track of every inventory that you have and exactly what you paid for it, how much it's worth of every single card, especially when you have hundreds of thousands of cards. That just seems like an accounting nightmare.
It is.
That's it. It just is.
You would be correct.
You want an answer? I don't have an answer.
Well, here it's like a Eli's asking a yes or it's like a not a yes or no question, but the answer is just no. It's just like, well, how would you inventory all those? No. It's just a no.
Well, I mean, it's no different from, okay, Alex, you buy a case of Journey Together. You paid $600 for that case.
Right.
You bought another one 2 weeks later for $625. How do you keep track of which one is which?
You would have.
It's even worse than that. It's almost like you bought a case of Journey Together. You sold. You have 4 boxes sealed, but then you broke down one for cards. You know, and you have to like track, I guess, what you spent on that one box, and then what every single card individual is worth. It's just it gets so. Then some are broken down for packs, right? Like
you would have to have an inventory management system that can accurately calculate weighted inventory cost. So it would literally be using an equation that every time you add something, it takes the price of what you purchased your other like sealed product for or singles for, and it uses a weighted average that specifically makes it to where everything kind of averages out at that point based on your sale. It's kind of like dollar cost averaging, but for inventory metrics.
But what if you don't sell all your items at the end of the year? Then
Are
you
you
use an average, and then now your average is worse than what it should be because you're still sitting on a product. And that's why it doesn't work.
Maybe I'm misunderstanding what you mean by that.
when you go to like figure about okay, how much money did I make off of X item?
Yeah.
If you have a revolving door of those items coming in and out all the time,
Yeah.
you may have sold 5 of those, and you took in 8. So how do you keep track of each one of those of being like, okay, now I have 3, but which 3? How many 3? How much is this?
Well,
3?
yeah, that's
How do
why I
I
said
factor in? If you want to like say, okay, across those 5 that I sold, what is my average cost? Okay, but you're actually factoring the average cost of those 3 as well, so it's not accurate either. So
I
no,
got
there's
I
no
got
way to
another,
I
do
get
it.
what you're saying. Well,
another
Yeah.
wrench to throw into it, Eli, is one gets lost or stolen. Which one was that?
Mhm.
Was it the one that was that one, or was it the other one? It's just like it's too convoluted. I wouldn't even worry about that.
well, that's why I said it's a weighted average. If you just took a general average, then yeah, that would never work.
Yeah.
But at least with the general weighted average, in theory, it should work as long as you're constantly adding the inventory value with the proper equations. And then every time you go to 0, you're netting out with whatever the new inventory being added is. But yes, if you had a rolling average, then it would never work. But it's hard to find a inventory management system that operates that way.
Yeah.
What if the
especially
IRS
when-
doesn't audit? Yeah, that's why we're talking about, like, just makes more sense for cash basis. So when the IRS audits a cash basis business, it's everything you brought in compared to everything you sold, and the difference is your profit, and that's what you should have paid taxes on.
It's just like how you, yeah, it's
Uh-huh.
who knows.
Yep.
I mean, there's some stores or programs I know that are trying to help out trading card businesses when it comes to using inventory management systems, but I feel like there isn't one right now that has done it better than most, or just kind of stands out. You know, I know you. I think you used POS Binder at one point, right?
I still do. Yeah.
Oh, you still do?
I don't track my inventory through that.
Yeah.
I just do it in the back end of like the marketplace, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like there's just not really a amazing solution yet when it comes to inventory management for storefronts. And who knows, maybe there never will be, but I feel like there will be at some point.
After doing this for 10 years, let me just tell you, it's a lot of time and energy being put into something that really doesn't really have a great solution.
Yeah.
Even if you're able to build something, it wouldn't be right.
Yeah.
Should we take some questions?
Yeah, let's take some questions.
Because even if you did that, oh, you're looking for questions. Even if you did that, okay, then you sold a card for $18. Then you sold another one for $19. Then you got to cost average that against that. But then are you going to average the profitability as well? You can't do that because then your tax numbers are off. Your actual metrics numbers.
Yeah, it's convoluted for sure.
It's a mess.
Shout out to Abraham, as always, with the $5. At purchase prices for Spider-Man collectors and Final Fantasy collectors, what would be a better current buy long term? Have exposure to both, but mostly do Pokemon. Holy moly, that's a crazy question.
I don't invest in Magic, so I'm not a good person to ask. When you look at the history of Magic collector boxes, they don't have the same track record as Pokemon booster boxes do. They don't all really rise in value, within a percentage range over time. Like some of them just went kind of dead for 4 or 5 years now. And so I'm not saying that either of these boxes will. I'm just saying it's just, I don't know enough about it, and it doesn't have the same like long-term track record right now. So that's why I kind of stay away from it. But if I had to choose one, do I think Final Fantasy can be $2,000 a box before Spider-Man is roughly what, $800-900 or $750, $800? Wow. I could go either way.
There's two things to factor. There's price now versus what the end goal would be, and then sales velocity, whether it would stick and stay at with the sales velocity go up or down if those went percentage higher. So for Final Fantasy, could a Final Fantasy collector box at $1,000 now sell just as well as it would be at $1,500?
No.
At $1,800? At $2,000? There's like a curve that would go down, right? Now with Spider-Man, is the sell-through going to be as impacted by that percentage as it would be a percentage as Final Fantasy was? I would venture to say probably not. I think anything that's a lower price point, but also like ratcheting up at the same rate, you'd probably just want to go with the cheaper one because your buyer pool is so much more vast at that point.
Yeah.
But that's just me. That's the way I'm thinking about it. Final Fantasy is also just like, I think, far and away a better thing that I could see long term people wanting to open and buy and participate in. So, there's that too. That's kind of like variables to think about.
Well, here's another crazy question to also think about. I mean, you would know this better than me, obviously, but like, other than the holiday edition of the collector box from Lord of the Rings, what other collector boxes do you know of that are over $2,000 right now?
There's not any that are over $2,000, I don't think, other than that one. Fallout's getting close, I think. I think Fallout's probably the next one, maybe. And then Final Fantasy's right there too.
Not Final Fantasy. Fallout is going for 1,100 right now, so it's still a ways away.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like what's value wise.
I mean,
then at that point, I think Eldraine might be higher than it at that point. Like one of the first couple collector boosters might be higher than that. Then
what was the first set that came out with the collector?
I think it was Wilds of Eldraine.
Man. Eldraine's at 900, 920.
Yeah. So nothing's really that close. I mean, the original Final Fantasy or Lord of the Rings is also obviously very expensive, but
yeah. So we're really are in uncharted territory.
Alfred, I'm sorry. Thrones of Eldraine, not Wilds of Eldraine. Thank you, Alfred.
Okay, I was about to say Wilds was that's a newer set, obviously. So yes, I was surprised. I was like, it's like, what? Thrones of Eldraine. Man, how far back does that go? Oh, there it is. Thrones of Eldraine.
Would have been probably 3-4 years ago now.
Dude, Wilds is doing better than Thrones. Lol. Thrones is going for, less than $400.
Wow.
For a collector. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like if that's the case, I'm going the Spider-Man route. I feel like the Spider-Man, just because we just haven't really seen 2000 before. You just don't really know. I mean, if one's gonna do it, it's gonna be Final Fantasy, right?
I mean, I thought Final Fantasy would already have been there, honestly.
Or
at least higher than what it is. I'm surprised. But a lot of people were hoarding it when they came out, so
oh yeah.
Maybe not
big time.
But I don't know.
Next question. Let me see if I can find one.
There's also chocobos that are like still like $45,000 in a PSA 10 out of a $1,000 box. So
wow,
lots of lottery tickets in there. So it's
Also, make sure to leave a like, comment down below, subscribe. It helps the channel out a lot. And then of course, Alex and Mason, their links are down in the description below. Could collection boxes become the new kid on the block as far as investments? Seems people are more hesitant than ever to rip booster boxes and ETB. Collection boxes might be more scarce.
Collection boxes as in like UPCs? Or are we talking about Magic or Pokemon here?
He's talking about a little bit of both. Because he at first... Well, actually, you're right. Yeah, he said collection boxes, not collector boxes. So we're talking about Pokemon here.
Yeah, we've kind of seen this before. A lot of those big collection boxes are they're so big and hard to ship and annoying to deal with. They're just inherently worse products to try to sell.
Yeah.
But there are some very, very expensive collection boxes, obviously. Like, some of them are way more expensive than they probably should be. Like the what's the box with the Pokeball with the shiny Steelix in there? Or not Steelix, what is it? Metagross?
Shiny Metagross? Yeah, from Hidden Fates.
Those things are way more expensive than they should be. Like, it's ridiculous how expensive that is for what it is. Super big boxes from back in the day. They're just
I remember those.
They're just rare, hard to find.
Also had the Ray one, of course, as well.
I mean, again, none of us can like look through every single one. So like, just as an average, on average, once those boxes age and become more expensive, the volume is just so low. So like, if you're trying to invest and you actually have
Right.
value, like quantity of them, it's going to be much harder to get rid of large quantity. Because I mean, think about it. If you're trying to invest whatever dollar amount, $1,000, $5,000, how many collection boxes are you going to have to buy versus how many booster boxes? And then how much easier it is going to be to move that $1,000 investment in booster boxes down the road than it is that $1,000 of collection boxes. It's going to be much harder. Unless again, when the time comes, you just have time to sit and let them sell through very slowly over the course of however many months or a year. Otherwise, it's definitely, and then if you break it down, you're going to lose the premium, right? You're just going to have the packs and the promos. And so I'm not a huge fan of it still.
Yeah, I mean, there's some unique stuff that's interesting, like I like the small but mighty box with the the baby tag team promo, had the exclusive promo in there. I would definitely go after unique, cool stuff like that. Than what with the Salamence and Reshiram box that just came out. Like, who cares? No one's gonna care in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years about that box. But
Yeah,
all
Well,
these
not only
unique ones
that,
that have something unique are cool. I think the Espeon Umbreon, like with the little figure in it, the big box, the premium box, I think that's a great box.
well, here's the thing no one's talking about either. It's like, it's not even the box, guys. It's like, if you would have bought the single, like if you'd have invested in the single back then, you probably wouldn't nearly as good. Like the collection boxes are propped up by the greater build, like the PSA 10 copies of the raw copies of the singles. Right. So it's not really just like, oh, people want that box so bad. They want the value that's inside, whether it be the packs or the singles inside. So like, yeah, like Mason was talking about those boxes, the Evolution boxes and Sword and Shield, the Greninja Kingdra boxes and Shrouded Fable. It's all about the promos and like the value of those and the great ability of those. It's not so much like they just really want that collection box. It's the product inside.
yeah. I mean, makes sense. You have to also,
Dude, if you ask me, I think having PSA 10 copies of the singles, that would be an infinitely more liquid than collection boxes if you're wanting to go that route.
True.
I mean, most collection boxes these days, if we're talking ones that are being put out like Blooming Waters, the Sea and Sky boxes and those such ones, they're just a way for them to push more packs onto us. Just because they're not, big box retailers aren't getting booster boxes. So what are they putting out instead? They're putting out these collection boxes and they're putting out booster bundles. Those are the two items you see out the most. If we're talking about just raw packs only, they're putting out ETBs similarly, but there's other ancillary items inside of there, not in the same way as the other two items, which is pretty much just packs, other than if you do get like a promo card from some of them, which other than like the small but mighty, I don't think a lot of people are looking at the Rayquaza V and saying, wow, I'm getting that nice Rayquaza V promo from Sea and Sky and making a whole ton of money off of it.
Yeah.
The last few weeks, I've noticed the price between the raw and PSA 10 values get a lot closer. Is this normal? Some top hits from Mega Evolution after grading are only getting 50 to 80 pounds.
I mean, in any time, I don't know exactly on that, on like the cards you're talking about, but anytime the gem rates are very easy, like 60, 70 plus percentile of 10s, you're going to have much lower margins there between the raw and the 10. Whereas when something gets much harder to grade, like under 50% 10 rate, 40%, 30% 10 rate, that's where you're going to see those major margins. So I'm sure, if I had to guess, I'm sure the cards you're looking at probably are very easy to grade, which is probably the reason for it.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see which ones they're referencing in particular, because I would like to definitely take a look and see some of them. Mason, this is a question for you. Is there any merit to the idea that the Ascended product release schedule is to split demand between two Ascended in perfect order in March? Second wave ETB should hit as new set releases. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think they did that. They did that with one of the other sets too, I think, didn't they? What was our January specialty set?
Prismatic.
Paldean?
It was Prismatic.
Oh, Prismatic. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Prismatic, which Prismatic didn't have a wave though. It had a reprint come in. And so they had a reprint of Prismatic product come 3 months after, I want to say, roughly the set came out.
Yeah.
So sometime between Journey and Destined. So we haven't really had a set that's kind of fallen in line in that way, because with Mega Second Wave, it came out I wouldn't say like an insane amount earlier, but it came out quite a bit earlier before Phantasmal. And then Phantasmal Wave 2 just came out, and we're still a month away from Ascended product being pushed, let alone the ETBs. So we're still waiting on a set that is going to kind of fall in line with that, which, I mean, Perfect Order feels like an insane tight window. I mean, I don't know the last time we had a set where you're going to get, the mainline product ETBs, and then a month later, not 2 months, not a month and a half, like a month later, you're going to get other product for a new set. Like, that's so fast.
Yeah, it's kind of a mess with these starter decks and all this other stuff that they're making, all hitting at the same time in the same sets. It's again the rest of the country trying to like shoehorn these Japanese products into our sets is kind of like it's a mess. Like, I don't know how they do it at Pokemon International when trying to break down like which Japanese products go into what. It's really weird.
Do you have any perspective on it, Alex?
Me? Oh no.
I know it was a question for me.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, obviously the wave system, it's meant to release products when they're not popular anymore, when like other sets are about to get released. So that way there's not as much buying pressure, which then you introduce a bunch more supply into the market when there's no buying pressure, not as much like hype, which should just like, cause price competition down. But I mean, dude, Phantasmal Flames is already rebounding. Like, it's already back to 230 a box. I know it's not all here yet. I honestly thought we might see like 200 even below, like Rob said, and it just doesn't. It seems like because everyone knows the next wave's coming, they're almost waiting in the beginning to buy until the second wave came, which almost like defeats the purpose. So now there's like less product at release, which is already kind of enough to keep the demand. The demand's high enough to keep the prices high. Then you have so much money on the sidelines waiting for that second wave to buy in, which kind of defeats the purpose of that. So I don't know if it's working too well right now.
Did you get Mason? Did you get all your Phantasmal yet?
Yep, I did.
Yeah, I got all my Phantasmal as well, as far as I'm aware.
So I mean, was that the bottom right now?
Yeah, that was the bottom. It came out. I got most of mine last week, and so we should at this point have finished, or should be finishing up shipping out the rest of Phantasmal Wave 2.
So I mean, we said in pocket. I mean, I think we both said 2 to 220 would be the bottom, and I guess that's where it bottomed.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. We only have like 2 customers that we haven't shipped out for yet, which I wouldn't be surprised if that was stragglers on payment. But yeah, no, I think that kind of, I mean, I feel like we hit the nail on the head when it came to the Phantasmal floor.
Nailed it.
Because realistically, we said that $200 was going to be a huge psychological barrier. And so it was going to range around 200 to 210. And right now, it's sitting lowest listed for a booster box. It's sitting for 214. So it got some sales got as low to 205. So it got pretty close to 200, and it's kind of stabilized right now. Who knows if it's going to have another leg down, but we've gotten most of the Phantasmal at this point. And so,
by the way, those two, the Bandits Hideout Game Company, I see those just got listed because this morning I checked and 230 was the lowest. So those did just get listed.
Yeah. You got to remember, like,
they are still coming to market.
Got to remember, it's the end of the month, like, end of the year. A lot of people are trying to dump stuff. There's a lot of factors that are factoring into things right this second. Phantasmal might still have some room to go down, but as far as like product being shipped, I think what's here now is
yeah, I agree. I think the only item that I feel pretty confident in more downside for is the UPC, because we're obviously just now starting to get the last like shipment from one of the larger major distros that is going to be contributing a large portion of the supply onto the market. So not saying that it's gonna, drop down to below $100, but I think that I wouldn't rule off MSRP yet.
MSRP, baby.
I think there's a chance. I think that's one of the first things that could go below MSRP.
Yeah. So I wouldn't rule
that much of it.
Yeah.
Why you guys say it with a smirk on your face?
Oh.
Hey, remember? Hey, you know what?
Gang.
Speaking to who was it? Kyle? Who was it? Yeah, Kyle in the chat. Remember the old days, Mason, where retail stores were ripoffs, and you were basically in the Pokemon YouTube space. You were kind of seen as like a noob if you bought at Walmart or Target or something. Like that was like newbies. Like once you got past that, you found eBay, TCG Player. You went to LGS's, and that's where you got products well under MSRP.
Yeah, I remember selling packs 3 for $10.
It'll be funny when that comes back and people are like, "Oh wait, you get better deals at game stores."
Yeah. I remember doing. I held out for as long as I could for the 3 for $10 kind of thing, because it was good because you got to buy, people got to buy 3 at a time, so you're selling things three times as fast, right? So it'd be like 350 or 3 for $10 or whatever it was. Man, good times, pre-COVID times.
I mean, people are always going to complain.
Kyle is making us aware that we know.
Oh, I'm not reading.
Well, I remember like one of the big things like to watch was always the Pokemon Center. Like once a Pokemon Center went out of stock on an item, that was like time to start getting your items. It's about to be done. Like that was everyone make videos on it. Guys, Brilliant Stars is sold out of Pokemon Center. Now is the time for it to move, and then like it would start running up after that. And nowadays it's just like that's seen as like the best deal in the world. If you can get a box at Pokemon Center and actually sit through a queue, you got gold. Whereas back then they sat for years and finally sold out, and that's when things would finally move.
I mean, people always said, MSRP at 160 or 144, depending upon the time you're looking at. That's, no one's going to buy that. So Pokemon Center listing the product, it doesn't make any sense. And then now that product's above MSRP, people are like, why don't more stores list it at MSRP? I mean, it's always whatever's most convenient in the moment, right? Do you fellas think the collector base has just exploded along with the rise of retail sellers and shops and streamers to the point that it's just getting consumed at 3 or 4x as a few years ago?
The rise of retail sellers. I mean, streamers for sure. Like obviously, like streamers is definitely.
Streamers didn't exist. 3 or 4 years ago, and now there's so many streamers. Yeah, obviously it's a huge number of things that are being ripped. Maybe they still would have been ripped, organically by the people, but there's just so much more of an entertainment factor to it now.
I mean, it's literally, this is going to sound like a weird comparison. It is the Uber Eats and the Uber and the Tinder and the whatever of the trading card world. It's the instant. It's on my phone. I click an app. I can open packs immediately. Quote unquote. You know what I mean? Obviously, you're paying someone to open it, but you get that dopamine hit immediately, right? So you've never had that before, right? Like you just get on your phone and boom, right there, you get it. It's the consistent continuation of instant gratification within our culture. I mean, that's really what it's boiled down to, right?
And by the way, isn't it cheaper if you just go get your food yourself though?
Right. Yeah. No one would ever want to do that. Like, that'd be silly.
Yeah, that'd be dumb.
Why would you pay someone to bring food for you when you can
Who
just go
buys
get it for free?
groceries?
That's so dumb.
Yeah, who buys groceries,
Yeah.
dude? I just go to Costco every day. That's what I do, dude. That's how if you really want to pro gamer move, guys, just go get yourself a couple Costco hot dogs, slice of a whole pizza if you're really a pro gamer. That just eat that every day. That
Mason, give us the lure. Give us the lure of the $6 hot dog, man.
So, oh, do you actually not know, or you just want?
I want you to tell
I
the
don't
audience.
know. I want to know about it.
$7 hot dog started with basically trying to explain to people that based on outside factors, that a price for an item can go up based on demand. The analogy is that when you go to Disneyland or Disney World and you go to buy a hot dog, it is more expensive because of where you're at, because of outside factors, right? Things from the outside putting value onto an item, even though it could be the most lame, crappy hot dog that you ever had.
It could be the same hot dog that's sold in the parking lot
Correct.
by a guy.
Correct. So I was trying to explain that, and it was before its time, Alex. I think it really was just I was too progressive and trying to help people understand the market that we've been in the past 3 years at this point, and people still have trouble understanding like how this happens. But I thought really making the analogy and making it something that's easy to comprehend, like buying food at a theme park or a ball game or something like that people would understand. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Makes perfect sense.
But no, I got dragged. I got, people were making fun of me. J Love was coming after me, did a video about it. Opossum Bud came after me, made a video about it, several videos about it, which is fine. Though I like both those guys. They're all great. I'm not like the thing. It was a conversation that went back and forth. But in the end, somebody was right and somebody else was wrong. And let's not say which side.
Dude, I just cannot fathom why you get some of like the dragging or the hate that you do. Like, I understand why I get it. Like, I definitely put myself out there and bring on it. But like, dude, hey, Nathan, you're like the nicest dude. We've met multiple times, hung out in person.
Try to be genuine. Like, I try to be like
genuine,
straight shooter.
It's very strange to me, dude, that like you get as much pushback as you do online.
Look, some people just because you don't like what you hear doesn't mean that it's from a bad source.
Yeah.
It's really silly.
Very silly.
I mean, it's crazy. Who would have ever thought that people pay for convenience, which is why they're willing to spend more on an overpriced hot dog? Like, it literally is just society in a nutshell. Like, that's literally what your analogy is. Your analogy is,
it is.
Hey, it sounds crazy to you that people pay for this, but people pay for it because of convenience. And guess what? The world runs literally on convenience.
Dude, it's the dumbest thing in the world. There could be a gas station or a Walgreens on the corner. People are going to stop there. You can say, the grocery store is 2 stores down. You could have paid $1 less for that candy bar. You could have got that, whatever. And it's just like, no one thinks twice about that. But for some reason, in the Pokemon card hobby, it is like, I mean, you're the most evil person in the world. That you provided a product or a service at a convenience with maybe a sort of entertainment, maybe a spot, whatever it may be. If you made even a dime extra, then someone could have found somewhere else by searching around. You are the devil.
You know what's a crazy way to look at it? Think about it this way. This is gonna blow some people's minds here. Let's say that there is a candy bar, right? That costs you $1 less, and you're gonna go buy just one of those candy bars. But to get to that shop, you're gonna have to drive an extra, we'll say 5 minutes. You're actually, if you're making $15 an hour, which at least in the Phoenix area, that's right around minimum wage, you're actually losing money when you're factoring in what your valued time is worth. Because it is literally how much you're making an hour. If you were to say, if I were to take this and I were to translate it to how much money I'm making hourly.
Yep.
Just saying, because like you make, if you make 15 an hour, you make $1 every 4 minutes. You're spending that extra time.
It's almost like you could like create a business taking something that is cheaper at a different company and selling it at a margin to a company that sells it for more. Oh, that's distribution. Oh shoot.
That's crazy how that works.
My bad. It's already out there.
I mean, we talk about this all the time
Something.
in the Bolt gang, man. Like the amount of times where we talk to people and people are like, yeah, my margins on these items, I'm making like 100x margin. And it's like, okay, well, yes, you bought something for a penny and you sold it for $1 and you're making 100x margin. But how long did it take you to sell that item, that singular, you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
we like looking at percentages because there's a lot of times it is better to look at percentages than the raw dollar amount. But there's a lot of times you have to look at the dollar amount because at the end of the day, it all comes down to how much are you making an hour when we're breaking it down, or how much of your time is being valued an hour.
And Kyle, you're still, dude. Again, I'm not trying to be mean, dude. You're still missing the point, right?
I can't believe you guys
No,
are still
hold on.
talking to this guy.
I
right
have to
now.
try. I have to try to like, because other people in chat, I think like actually think he like knows something, dude. Kellogg's can make a box of Fruit Loops, right? And they do. They distribute it to the big box stores. They distribute it to Walmart and Target. And guess what? They also distribute it to gas stations. And gas stations sell it for $2 more a box. And guess what? The gas stations wouldn't sell it if it didn't sell. And then people there buy that and they order more. And Kellogg's doesn't say, well, I can just sell it to Walmart's. Why wouldn't you sell it to everybody?
I'm surprised you guys are still talking to Kyle
It's
right
crazy.
now.
It's just it's ludicrous, dude.
Look,
That's crazy.
economics is really hard.
Yeah.
That's why we all don't run businesses. Because it's really hard.
Mason.
I mean, it is. I mean, I'm being facetious, but I'm not being facetious. It sucks. Once you figure out how businesses actually work, it kind of sucks. It's kind of a drag. It's kind of a bummer, you know? So, you know, if I didn't have to deal with running a business, I like the idea of not having to worry about how that operates and just having it be a thing. Like in theory, I just like the simplicity of like, oh, I could just buy it straight for Pokemon if I wanted to. No, you can't, because there's all these other hoops and things they have to go through. And there's people in front of you, because we live in a society that never mind.
We live in a society.
What happened to all the true collectors that said they wanted cheap prices? I assume this is in reference to a lot of the people leaving One Piece.
Leaving One Piece.
Or sorry, leaving to join One Piece. Yeah, you know what I meant.
I think it's time for us to actually realize that, and I'm not saying everybody's like this, but a large portion of collectors like to collect things because they have some sort of value. There are people that love to collect bottle caps.
See, it's stuff like that that gets you canceled.
Piece of string and other things. But people like to collect things that are valuable and that have some sort of value to them, because our ancient caveman brains, when you hold a rock in your hand and you're like, why is this rock better than this rock? Oh, because this one's shiny and smooth and it's pretty. Okay, if I think that way, other people think that way too. And if other people want this rock, that means it's more valuable than this rock. Fuck this rock. I don't want that rock. I want this rock. This one is more valuable. That's collecting. That's the cool part of collecting. There's lots of people that, again, collect worthless things. But I bet you, if you talk to them and ask them why they like one over the other, it's got to have some sort of value to them, because you have favorites and people like things, like, right? Like, I don't understand like why it's such a hard thing to understand that if it was all at zero, nobody would care because it'd all be the same, right? Like,
what you're telling me is that you wouldn't be holding on to gold minerals if it didn't have value. Dude, I like gold because it's shiny personally, not because it has any value. But that's just me. Maybe you're just not a true fan, honestly.
Well, think about this too. Every card at the same level of rarity, it gets printed the same in Pokemon. There's not like short printing, right? So like an Umbreon VMAX is printed the same amount as a Glaceon VMAX. Why is one a couple hundred and one 2,000, right? It's like, you know, these illustration rares, one's $2, one's $50. It's because everyone, there's no conspiracy, there's no like manipulation. The majority of people all agree they like this one better. And everyone just wants the same thing, and there's not enough to go around, which pushes the price up. That's all this is. It's just like free market. And I think people get that misconstrued sometimes. It's like, well, Pokemon, it makes these cards too expensive or something. It's just like, no, you make them expensive. Like they're not expensive at all. They're pieces of cardboard.
We all make them expensive.
Yeah, we make them expensive.
We all make them expensive.
Right.
I want your rock. I think your rock's sick. I want that rock.
Someone else wants it. Well, they want to pay me too.
Crazy.
All right, we'll do a couple more questions, then we'll get out of here because we've been going for over 2 hours.
All right.
Thanks as always, Mason. Always a pleasure.
Look, we're having a good time.
I mean,
Um,
ignore all the calls you've probably been getting at both your shops with a million things.
yeah, right.
Thanks for taking time out of your day to sit with us and talk nonsense.
I mean,
Yeah,
2 days
seriously.
before Christmas. What else I got to do?
I know, right?
No, it's fine. Anytime, actually. Like, really, anytime.
Do you think Pokemon limits booster box supplies to support LGS pricing while printing more other products for big box stores to help keep the general prices in check?
So is the question saying that because it's harder to get packs otherwise, that it props up the booster box prices? So there being less of them is doing me a favor? I don't, Brownie, I don't think it's that. I think it's literally just like Pokemon companies themselves make more money by making all these other little silly boxes. I really just think it probably just comes down to that.
I mean, here's my thing with this. I've said this before in multiple streams. I don't think it's a hot take. If Pokemon realistically wanted to get prices back to below MSRP, they would stop pushing it to big box retailers. And the reason why is because local game stores are going to list at market. And when product is listed at market and there isn't an MSRP, then there isn't scalpers. And when scalpers are taken out of the equation, then prices typically tend to go down, because scalpers, they have no agency. Their agency is, I want to make money and I want to do it in the most profitable way possible. And the only way you can do that is by having an entry point that is lower than what the current market price is at. And so if you were to just say, hey, big box retailers, you're obviously selling products significantly below market. If we just got rid of that and said, all right, now all product is being sold at market, all of a sudden it completely changes the dynamic of how the market works. And then the demand is going to be significantly lower for a lot of these items, because people are going to be weeded out because they're like, I don't want to pay that much. Market's overinflated. And then you start to see demand get thinner and thinner. And then from there, you start to see prices correct. And then all of a sudden that market price now becomes cheaper than MSRP again. I mean, that's just my kind of personal belief. It's an experimental thought. I could be wrong, but it's just what makes the most sense to me. So I think when asking the question, like, does Pokemon limit booster box supplies to support LGS pricing? I mean, I guess the difference is more or less is, do we think that Pokemon is doing this because they would prefer to have an MSRP versus a market price? I think in a perfect world, yeah. I mean, you see that with a lot of other games. They have map pricing. I don't think map pricing is a good thing, but obviously they want to stick to MSRP. I think the hard pill to swallow is that it might not be as successful as people realize. I don't know. What do you think about that take, Mason?
I think it's pretty complicated situation. The fact that hobby distribution and big box distribution is split is also like a big thing.
Yeah.
What product goes where. There's big box exclusive stuff. If you want to say booster boxes are LGS exclusive stuff, you can do that too. I mean, there's lots of things that are at play here. And I think Pokemon is trying to play with that a little bit. Obviously with like the exclusive stuff, the big box stuff like that.
Well, there's already GameStop exclusives.
Sure. So like that kind of stuff is like, okay, why would they, why is that in their best interest to do? Why make an exclusive item for a single, not just big box, but a single big box store? Hey, we worked a contract or a deal with them about, hey, now GameStop is going to buy this much guaranteed from us for the next whatever amount of time, right? There's got to be some other like thing at play that they're getting. So to say that's all just based off of MSRP and pricing and all that stuff and try to balance that, I think there's way more to it than that. I think we're trying to simplify it probably more than it is possible. I think remember we were talking about based off 24 or 2024 numbers, if you did the math, there's like 2.5 million booster packs of each set produced. If you wanted to like average it out, I don't even touch 0.00001% of that amount. So like I have no factor at all in like the market pricing of anything. Like, how much does Walmart buy compared to of all those 2.5 million packs? Probably a percentage, but probably not far from 100%. It's just like there's so many things that play. Who's to know what is factoring what?
Yeah.
And that's why it's so hard. It's so hard to figure out. Okay, if I truly wanted to make prices reasonable for people, which I truly do think Pokemon's goal is to do that, because they don't make any money by it being expensive. They don't gain anything.
Which is strange, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like, if that is truly their goal, is just to make things at MSRP and do things to keep it at that way. If it goes low, you want to correct it, right? If it goes too high, you want to correct it, right? Make the equilibrium of MSRP. There's just a lot going on. It's very difficult to do, and I don't envy them in trying to figure this out set by set when you're already producing 3 sets down the road. It's very difficult to do.
I mean, as a business owner, I get it, right? Like I obviously have my opinion of what I think.
He owns a business. Oh, geez, he owns a business over here.
Yeah, like I obviously have an opinion, and I'm like, I think this is what makes sense. But here's the deal: like, even in my own businesses, the amount of times I've had people be like, "Well, why don't you do it this way?" And it's like, dude, you make it seem like I haven't thought about it already, and you make it seem like I haven't thought about 100 different ways on why I think this is successful. And I'll give you another 10, 15 other reasons that you're not even considering as to why that wouldn't work, right? Because that's the reality of the situation. We don't have the full picture. Right. We have what's in front of us as the consumer, and we are just going to look at that, and we're not going to know a lot of behind the scenes because it's it's not ours to know a lot of times, and sometimes it is, and even then we don't understand it, right? So I definitely can say that I would agree with you on that one, Mason, where you definitely don't envy it, because it is you're always going to take criticism, always.
Right. I mean, earlier I was saying, like, where's all these Heroes? What are we doing? Like, obviously, like, I'm sure they printed it just fine. And like,
how could they?
And they're just like, I'm sure that it is just fine. But like, yeah, without the full picture, we can be a little like, what the heck, Pokemon? When we fully know that they are doing just probably the best they can and printing it as much as possible. Because why wouldn't you right now? Why wouldn't you just print it as much as possible? Because that's, again, they don't care about if it's over MSRP. They make the same amount regardless.
Yeah.
So they just want to make as many units as possible, right? So I'm sure they are making as many units as possible.
Makes sense. We'll move on from this one, but when's the hat coming off? I assume it's for me. It's not you, Alex. I will say, Alex, when are you gonna ever have a hat?
I didn't know we had to do hats.
Am I gonna have a hat every day? What?
When are you gonna have a hat off day?
Oh, a hat off day?
Oh man.
Dude, that is stylish.
Holy crap.
I'm actually afraid of Mason in that.
I didn't want to do this, but now we're
all right, dude. Whatever, man. Just gotta put us all to shame like that. That's not cool.
Sorry to do
it
to you.
Law don't go in this town, law dog.
Law dog.
All right, not big enough for the two of us.
All right, let's do 2 more questions. Let's get out of here.
Okay.
Question: how do customers value getting something today versus buying online? Me personally, I don't see paying extra 20% over market to support LGS a good deal.
Dude, this is the craziest like conversation all day with this stuff.
No, and I'm sure it's just because we're going back into the history of it. But
yeah, we're going into older questions now.
Yeah, so I mean, what is the price of convenience? It's literally the price of convenience. When at the end of the day, it comes down to how much are you willing to pay below the absolute lowest price for something to have it right now. That is the balance that I have to figure out and strike with every product I sell. And you know what? If it doesn't sell, I go and sell it online, and it's at the lowest price you could probably find it just to get rid of it, right? Like, so because the convenience of me selling it immediately is the reduced price. So it works both ways. But yeah, I mean, it's a factor. It's everything that you think about when you go to price something. Is that how much is somebody willing to pay before they walk away?
I mean, guys, like this is like as old as the end of time. Like, I mean, why do you order pizza delivered when you can just easily go get it? Why do you go sit down at a restaurant when you can order takeout? Like, why do you do anything at a premium when you could do something else? And here's the thing: we're all humans. There's like hundreds of millions of people in this country. Everyone's got a different threshold of what's worth it to them. You may say, it's just not worth it. I won't pay $1 more. I want the absolute lowest price. I'm going to buy it on Amazon, whatever. Other people may say, yeah, no, I just like had the idea. I wanted to open some product. I want it now. I'm going to drive up and get it. And it makes sense to me.
That just to do it now.
Yeah. Or maybe you're a collector. You want to go pull one off the shelf, a nice minty one. You don't want one sent in the mail, possibly getting. There's just a million reasons. Like, I just think I don't understand why people are trying to like force their mindset onto others and like worry about how other people shop. If you don't want to support it, just don't do it. But like, don't be upset that other people do.
Like, good for you for having that kind of control and that's being smart enough to go and research outlets and find things for a cheaper price and hunt it down and do all the legwork. That you could be working a job instead of doing that and probably making more money, but that's fine. Do what you want to do.
The crazy
but I'm saying like it's time versus money versus convenience. It's all those things playing into factor at the same time. It's all a funnel of you getting an end result, right? How much you add to the mixture is up to you.
The craziest thing too is I don't even have a dog in this fight. I don't even own an LGS. I don't even know why I'm responding to this. It's just so.
Well, it's just like, why do people buy packs from you to break on live stream?
Yeah, it's so
same
wild.
Thing. It's all like exact same methodology of thought process.
I mean, why do you pay a lawn care service to cut your yard when you could easily just go buy a mower and do it yourself and it's going to pay off over time? And because you don't want to freaking do it.
I definitely don't.
Yeah, it's the same thing every question, it feels like at this point.
You said one more. Let's do one more. There's got to be one more good one.
I know, I'm kidding. We'll do a good one. I'll do a good one. Oh my God, dude. I'm going back and I'm seeing all these comments.
Oh, people are
spicy today. Oh my gosh. I'm just trying to find a.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's like the spiciest chat I've seen. And like, I could have never.
240, is that good? Is that a good number? 240?
We touched around 3. You got to remember the market crashed. So the numbers are a little lower.
Oh, like while we were talking, it crashed as well. So we're in a
you got to understand that, Mason.
Okay.
Come on,
I understand.
Dude, I'm not even kidding you. I'm trying to find a question, but it's just people adding Kyle. That's it. That's all I'm seeing back and forth. Holy
Kyle,
God.
you should create content, dude. You obviously have a knack of getting people riled up. I think you could be the next like Team Rocket Joey.
Could be. Max Power, put your question again. We'll answer it if you're fast enough.
Yeah, I've literally been scrolling for a solid minute and I haven't seen a question asked because everything is just people fighting in the comments right now.
Bottom of the chat, last question. Put it in there.
Bottom of the chat, last question. Boom. Special event. By who? Who's asking the last question? Oh yeah, you're just saying.
Waiting for them to put it in there.
Yeah, race the first person to get it. Just put it down. All right, here we go. This is it. Oh man, I feel like that's not a great question to ask. Because someone asked, as fans of Pokemon, which card in Ascended Heroes do you like the most? But knowing Alex, he probably hasn't even looked at the set.
Well, I mean, can I take it off Mega Dream? I mean, I know those.
Sure.
All right.
Yep.
That's a terrible question. It's so boring. I mean, I feel like the Gengar. I mean, I guess you could say the Dragonite.
I mean, the Gengar is the coolest looking so far.
I mean, I think all the comic book like full arts. I think those are so sick.
I was gonna say that ends Zekrom card is really cool.
Yeah, ends Zekrom sick.
Dude,
is it as good as Crown Zenith?
Just humble. I got a question. Okay, just humble. How much product do you hold back for long-term investment? He used the I word too, Mason.
I don't like it. How much product do I hold back? I don't hold back anything. I don't.
You really don't still?
I don't have a closet full of anything sealed. I don't. I have a couple of singles that I buy just because I think they're, they might do something cool long term. But
So the store itself, you don't hold like anything back at all?
I just we started to do that, and it's just like, okay, now we have $20,000 on this shelf, and it's just like, okay, we could just put in a new product or something else. It's just like, it doesn't make sense for us to do as a business, and I don't do it personally. No, I don't do it.
Hey, you did well on those Moltres Zapdos Articuno stained glasses.
Pretty good. I wish I bought more.
I think for me, I hold back like a case of booster boxes, and that's kind of it. Like I actually don't hold back a lot.
Personally, or with the business as well?
For me, it kind of goes hand in hand, if I'm being honest. But that's just me.
I mean, I would say going forward right now, I mean, very little. If you're like, I probably won't be putting more than like a couple of cases away of each set. Just like going into the market slow down, and like, obviously all the worry about like the print facility coming up and all this new block is all going to be in print a long time. So like, up until now, I've been putting away quite a bit depending on like the set I like, but now probably going to slow it down a bit.
All right. Do we feel good about that one, or anything other question related? Oh, here's all right. We got to take this one. This is the last one, because I like fun questions. Sadly, Flower City Cards isn't here to usually ask one.
Okay.
He usually asks banger questions. What are you guys eating for Christmas dinner? Happy holidays. Yeah. Merry Christmas, everybody. Christmas is in 3 days.
It is the holiday week for sure. I think we're doing spaghetti.
Oh,
Something different.
Are you putting M&Ms in your spaghetti perchance? Maybe a little maple syrup?
What?
No. Is that a thing?
Are you guys serious? You guys are joking right now.
Oh, is that an elf reference? It's an elf reference.
An elf reference. Come on, man. Golly, Alex. What?
It took me a second, but I got it.
We are doing Chef Boyardee pizzas.
Chef Boyardee pizzas? I didn't know that was a thing.
It's not a thing. It's just what we're doing.
Oh, I was about to say, bro. Dude, I used to just go crazy with Chef Boyardee when I was younger. I'd just pop open a can. Oh, dude.
That explains a lot.
That was a daily.
That explains so much.
That was a daily, dude. That and Quaker's cinnamon brown sugar. Oh,
Alex really on the struggle meals.
That's hilarious.
The Pokemon corrections got him down bad. Dude, is that like a struggle meal? Chef Boyardee pizza? Is that like,
I mean,
down and out?
I think
I eat the hell out of that. Are you kidding me?
I think people think what's a struggle meal in my mind is like cheap meals that you can cook pretty quickly, and like it's typically from like a can or a packet. That's what I assume.
That's fair. All right.
Because like here's the real question: would you consider Kraft mac and cheese to be a struggle meal?
Obviously, right?
But no, it's a serious question, because with Chef Boyardee, it's out of a can. You plop it, you put it in the microwave, boom, you're done. That's it. But with like Kraft mac and cheese, you need milk, you need butter, you need other ingredients. Like,
gotta go to the store. How inconvenient is that?
I'm just saying, you got to use other ingredients. That's
Kraft should just sell their product straight to consumers.
Right. I mean, that's the answer, is doing that.
I want to go to Kraft.com and buy mac and cheese.
To the cardboard is an accurate description.
I want to get rid of macaroni and cheese distributors.
Are they
you don't actually need milk. I mean, that is true. Maybe that I never had a struggle meal, so I that's my bad. I had the milk and the butter.
I
had the milk and the butter
in my life.
Golly, idiot.
Eli grew up with a silver spoon, guys.
I do, dude. Unlike you peasants, I had milk and butter with my macaroni Kraft.
Ooh, that's a good point in the chat. That's why they created Easy Mac.
Oh yeah,
that's the struggle meal.
Oh my gosh. Hey, I remember I had an Easy Mac, and I was 7 or 8 years old, and I didn't read the instructions that you were supposed to put water inside of it. And so I just put it in the microwave, and the whole house smelled like smoke for the whole day. And my parents were not happy, brother. They were not about it.
I'm pretty simple, man. I think I prefer these so-called struggle meals sometimes over anything fancy. So
I mean, we gotta get Mason in on this question. This is an important one that you need to answer. Are we gonna go with the Lunchables pizza, or are we going with the Uncrustable? That's the real question, Mason.
I never was a Lunchables guy. I've definitely destroyed some Uncrustables though. So
Oh, dude, Uncrustables
for
are
sure.
great. They're so good. Sorry.
All right. Is that it?
What?
We're done?
What is? Yeah, we're done. We'll
Okay,
we'll
great.
end there. I could go on about. I love talking about
They're
food.
both
All right,
nasty. Come on,
we'll get
Koga,
out of
come
here.
on. They're not nasty. That's good.
What'd you say?
Oh, Koga was saying they're both nasty. Come on.
What? Well, okay. I'm not a big fan of the Uncrustable pizza. I like the other sorry, not Uncrustable pizza. Lunchable pizza. I like the regular lunch.
these guys are only eating like filet and sea bass, dude. They don't eat.
If you're not, then you're struggling.
This is
Dude.
filet, sea bass, caviar chat right now.
Yep.
Dude, are you guys telling me you didn't used to have what was it called out of a can? It was like the O's with the meatballs.
Oh yeah, SpaghettiOs.
SpaghettiOs, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
dude,
classic
come
Chef
on.
Boyardee.
I will say
Dude.
though, like me and my wife did actually get a couple cans of those not too long ago, and either they changed it or the taste buds changed because it didn't.
Did you
taste
hear?
as I remember.
Did you hear about all the drama with the Campbell's CEO or whatever coming out about their food?
I did.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I think it had to change because I remember it being better than it is.
But that's how it is with most things, right? Inflation, shrinkflation. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of things that have changed, both price, size, quality. Yeah, people are definitely cutting corners these days, sadly.
Yeah.
All right, let's get out of here, folks. Thank you all so much for stopping by. Obviously, a pleasure to have Mr. Mason. Can't thank him enough for being here.
Appreciate y'all. Thanks for having me.
Anything you
What's
want
your
to say
local game
before we
store?
head out?
Support
Do
your
I have
local game
anything?
stores.
Yeah.
No. If you like my rambling, I have a YouTube channel called Cardinal Gaming. I just started another podcast with 3 other folks. It's called the
Oh.
Off Center Podcast. We're
I
so
did see
close to
that.
500
That's a good
subscribers.
name.
I would love if we could get that to 500. That'd be awesome. So if
Heck
you guys
yeah.
haven't checked that out, it's the Off-Centered Pod on YouTube. So
Heck yeah, man. All right. Well, thanks, everyone. Check it out. And we will see you all next Monday. Right, Alex? We're good for that?
Yep.
All right, cool. See you all next Monday. Peace.